on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at arizonasports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a record need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
They won. How are we not opening the show with a highlight?
You got that highlight there, Laz?
Some kind of highlight. I mean, the Cardinals won last night, Laz.
How about that?
I know you're a Raider fan. No, you start with your best stuff. Like, you're going to go on a date. You're going to wait. I mean, you're going to bring out the
first impression.
First impression.
Yeah, get that first impression, big fella.
All right. Anyway, strike one on our producer. Good afternoon, Roc and Manuch with you today. We're out here at Wright Toyota. We got the Cardinals football breakdown from last night over the Raiders. Jeremiah Love looked special, but we've got some injury concerns and a defense that still's got some questions. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk ranked every NFL team this morning, and if you're a Cardinals fan, you're not going to like where he put Arizona. We'll talk about that today. D-backs are in Atlanta for a critical 3-game series. They're hanging on by a thread in the wild card race. The next 6 games could define the entire season. Plus, we got Scott Spreitzer from Doc Sports. We'll break down the preseason games tonight. There's a few. We'll also catch up with 2-time Super Bowl champion Mark May. He's here to talk college football and NFL. We're also diving into some stuff behind the scenes, the stories that you're not really seeing on the front page of ESPN.com, if that's where you go, Manuch. Jalen Daniels sent LSU a cease and desist letter. You may have seen that on ESPN. We're going to go a little deeper with it because Joe Burrow has now spoken, the former LSU standout. And fantasy football guys are there's a fantasy football guy is getting divorced because he's in fantasy. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But we are out here at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. We'll be here till 4 o'clock. But last night, preseason game 1, really. It's game 2 for them, but week 1, I should say, is Mike LaFleur earned his first unofficial win as the Cards head coach in a dominant preseason performance. But some injuries had something to do with this too, which is always part of preseason. But the offense struck immediately. Jacoby Brissett, he completed all 5 of his passes for 44 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter series, including a threading type pass that went right to Marvin Harrison Jr. on a cross route in the end of the end zone for a touchdown. LaFleur told reporters after the game, he said, "Hey, save those for September, dude," when they were discussing the Brissett touchdown and the overall offense. But, a good rebound from what we heard in camp on how he did. He had a rough red and white practice, that being Jacoby Brissett, showing that he didn't miss many throws yesterday. So it was good. The operation looked good. It looked much better than we've seen years past in preseason. So we'll maybe the veteran quarterback silence some of the doubters with an efficient performance.
Yeah, I thought he moved his feet real well. I thought it was very effective, very efficient from that standpoint. As you mentioned, 5 for 5. The nice touchdown pass, kind of moved to his right, threw off his back foot, led that ball right out in front for Marv Jr. I thought overall, you look at the offense 2 weeks in a row. It's the Rams part 2, right?
I love it. I've already bet the over for week 1.
Well, their offense.
I think they're going to score a lot of points.
Well, you know what? They're going to have to. I think with this defense, it doesn't look like it's going to be much better. But if they have to beat teams, 32-28, 35-30 with the victories they get, that's what they're going to have to do. But the rollouts, the waggles, the bootlegs, I'm very familiar with what you saw Jared Goff when he's with the Rams and now with Matthew Stafford. A lot of crossing routes with your tight end, with your wide receivers. They get the ball down the field. That's one thing you like to see. Other thing you like seeing was Jalen Brooks have another couple of key catches, big throws, and a few of the other guys. Reggie Virgil, nice little catch. So we got some competition at the wide receiver and slot positions for this Arizona Cardinals team. But 2 weeks in a row, no interceptions. Only missed 4 passes last night. I think they only missed like 4 last week. Keaton Slovis came in, and again, he looked sharp. So the offense, as far as throwing the ball, moving the offense, getting the pass protection, safe throws, short throws, stretching the field out, has really bode very, very well for this Cardinals offense. Defensively, you saw Kirk Cousins go right down the field. Get our first glimpse of Fernando Mendoza. He took the team right down the field against the first teamers as well, too. So offensively, I think the Cardinals will get better. But it's nice to just see the motion offense, just to see completions. And Gardner Minshew, he was like, shooting fish out of a barrel. He was just right, left, 14 and 16, 2 touchdown passes. He looked really sharp. So I think with that instance, he's solid. The one thing about he and Jacoby Brissett, there's not a defense that they haven't seen. And especially in preseason, the very vanilla defense you saw last week in the Hall of Fame game and that game last night, they're going to be able to complete, I think, 75 to 80% of their passes. So good for the offense. Defense still needs a little bit of work.
And the worst thing to come out of Arizona's win was seeing Chase Besantis go down with a left knee injury. He was eventually carted off after getting looked at in the blue medical tent, and LaFleur told reporters post-game that it was not good. Second rounder is undergoing more testing, so we'll see there. But there's a chance, a real chance, that he misses an extended amount of time, and that's a brutal blow for a rookie and the offensive line as a whole. As Chase was, people talking real highly of him and starting at right guard, a little competition with Isaiah Adams. So we'll see if anyone's going to challenge Adams. It was going to be him. But if you're going to miss time due to an injury, Adams might have just locked up things right now at right guard.
Yeah, it really was weird. He was just kind of backing up in pass protection, and I don't know if he got pushed, but he was backing up. And when he fell to the ground, he grabbed the back of his left leg, and he was writhing in pain. And I figured, man, that might be a PCL, posterior cruciate ligament, if anything, because he didn't grab the side, he didn't grab the front. He went right to the back of the knee and was grabbing it and was turning over, and they're trying to calm him down. And a lot of times where I've seen that, it's like a posterior cruciate ligament. To your point, Roc, if it is, he has surgery, I would suffice to say he'd probably be done for the year. And it's unfortunate. He was talking that competition with he and Isaiah Adams at that right guard spot. And, here this kid is coming out of Texas A&M, one of the top linemen in the nation coming out of A&M, but just a very, very unfortunate way to go down in preseason.
And Jeremiah Love, he has a little bit of an ankle issue, it looks like.
A little tweakage.
So we'll see. LaFleur doesn't think it's anything serious, but he had a really good game. It had 14 touches, 11 carries, and 3 catches for 72 yards during the first half. So we got to see a glimpse of the number 3 overall pick from this past draft. So he's a stud.
Yes.
And Algier and both Love were able to find openings. They were averaging at least 4.8 yards per carry. I know it's a limited size of plays, but still, that's close to 5 yards. You'll take that all day long.
Algier just hits the hole, and he really drives. He's I think the stronger runner. But even Love, he moved the pile a couple of times too. Watching Love, cut, spin, hurdle. Then he had 3 catches as well too, coming out of the backfield. Good job by Minshew checking down and finding him, catching the ball, tucking it away, and getting that extra yardage. The one thing that he did on his first reception, he caught it. He tried to make a cut versus catch it and just get up the field, get the first down. So he'll learn from that on tape. They'll go, hey, if you make the catch, it's 3rd and 5. Make your catch. He caught it maybe about 3 yards. They're just a yard shy. They went for it and they got the first down. But those are some of the little things you're going to see, the learning lessons from Jeremiah Love. But overall, good to get him lathered up a little bit. 11 carries, average 5 yards per carry, and get a few catches. So I think we saw, Jeremiah Love, you break out, unwrap that new toy underneath the tree, right? And start that bad boy up, and let's see what it does.
Walter Nolan III was in the starting lineup after dealing with another injury scare in this past week. He was fitted with a brace on his left arm, but he looked fine. He had a sack in the second quarter. The second-year pro is looked, at least from reports, and I didn't watch all of the game, but he looked gassed is what.
Oh, he was. They
reported.
pulled him out a couple times, and he was over there huffing and puffing.
Yeah, so they got to get that going.
That's what they need. That's what these preseason games, somebody goes a good full quarter to kind of build that stamina up, and that's what we call that football shape, Rock. You can run all you want, but when you're in there pushing around guys that are 300 pounds and trying to make moves and get off blocks, it's exhausting, and that's what these defensive linemen are going to need moving forward.
All right, our State 48 roofing, it's your call question of the day. Of course, the storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Don't wait for a leak. Call State 48 Roofing today for a free roof inspection, 480-268-4828, 268-4828. But just go visit state48roofing.com. So the question today, what was the most impressive part of Jeremiah Love's performance last night? 1, ability to dodge tacklers. 2, his quickness to the hole. 3, his route running and catching. Or 3, his average 5.3 yard average. So those are your 4 choices. You can vote on any of our platforms on social. Just search Roc and Manuch. So all right, we'll go back inside the Cards preseason action from last night. We got 2 touchdown calls. We got Gardner Minshew on Michael Floor's offense, plus coach on injuries, the workload for Love, and Marvin Harrison Jr.'s touchdown drive. So our replay rewind is next. Appreciate you hanging out with us. It's Roc and Manuch today. You can hear us on ESPN Radio, 620, also 98.7 FM HD-2. We're on YouTube and on the Arizona Sports app. Replay rewind is next.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Right Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Right Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, or shop anytime at righthonda.com. That's righthonda.com, where Arizona drives. Right Honda.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof. Fight Night is back, and the only place to catch every punch, kick, and knockout is Twin Peaks. Settle in with scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree drafts that hit colder than a heavyweight takedown. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you won't miss a moment. Grab your crew and make it a fight night to remember. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
It's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Rock decides to add. Let's get to it in replay rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
3rd down and 3 at the Las Vegas 7-yard line for the Arizona Cardinals. 7-0 game. Raiders with the lead. 10th play of the drive for the Cardinals. Single back, Love. Play action fake. Brissett rolling right. Pressure in his face. Stops. Throws to the back right corner of the end zone. And caught for a Cardinals touchdown. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. And the Cardinals answer on their opening possession.
That is J.P. Shadrick, the new play-by-play voice of your Arizona Cardinals. I think he's pretty solid, man. Sounds great. And he got to call Marvin Harrison Jr. there, the 2-yard touchdown reception there. First touchdown for the Cardinals last night. Let's get to the second touchdown for the Cardinals last night.
Minshew under center. Snap. 3-step drop. Throwing a fade. Front right corner of the end zone. Has a man. It is caught. It's Simi Fielko with a touchdown for the Cardinals, who take the lead. 9:16 to play in the second. The new score, Cardinals 13, Raiders 7. 10-yard touchdown pass from Gardner Minshew.
He's got a little Mitch Stroman, and I want to say a little Marv Albert. You're like you
got a combination there. You're right.
If you listen to the hey, play that again and listen to the end. You know, like Marv, like you see, like he stretches his words. Yeah, listen. Play that.
Minshew under center. Snap. 3-step drop. Throwing a fade. Front right corner of the end zone. Has a man. It is caught. It's Simi Fielko with a touchdown for the Cardinals, who take the lead. 9:16 to play in the second. The new score, Cardinals 13, Raiders 7. 10-yard touchdown pass from Gardner Minshew.
Does have a little Mitch Stroman in him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Fine. NAU play-by-play voice.
Yeah. All right, here's another Cards touchdown through the air. Brooks finishes drive and puts Arizona back on top.
3rd down and 1 at the 6. To receivers left, single man right. Looking to the right side again. Fade, back shoulder throw. Another caught ball in the paint for a touchdown, Cardinals. And guess who? Jalen Brooks with his 6th catch of the game. Another touchdown for Arizona. And dancing in the end zone, the Cardinals have the lead before halftime. It's 20-14, 17 seconds to go.
You know, it's interesting. You forget this is Brooks' 4th year. Came from the Dallas Cowboys, and you got CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, and this young man is really, stepping up. Here you are going into your 4th year. He's really proven to be a very solid wide receiver, 2 weeks in a row. He's got some good speed, good hands. So a little competitive battle for this wide receiver room to be as competitive as they are. So I think that if they get through this preseason and guys like Fehoko and Brooks and Green and some of the younger guys can prove worthy, they should have some good depth at the start of the season.
So what's it like running Mike LaFleur's system? Gardner Minshew breaks it down right here.
Yeah, no, it's all about creating complementary looks, especially in the run game to where, kind of you line up in a formation and defense has a couple things they can do to you, and we have answers for each. That's really good stuff. And then the pass game, a lot of it's built off the run game, which creates advantage there. And then just having complementary route stems that keeps the DBs guessing and off of your receivers' routes. It's been awesome. I've been super fired up to join this offense from watching Coach LaFleur at the Rams and previously, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of it.
A lot of fun to be able to be productive, be a part of it. So what he's saying right there is the run game, the bootlegs, the waggles coming off the play action passing. And he knew dropping back yesterday where exactly to go with the football. And guys were wide open. Matter of fact, the only one he missed was a little pump and go on 3rd and 1 to Brooks up the right sideline. Just overthrew him. But I think those are some of the things experienced quarterbacks, Brissett and Minshew, will thrive with this offense because they understand where the mismatches are going to be.
All right, now let's hear from the coach. The injury watch continues. Here's Coach LaFleur on his thoughts on a couple of the guys' injuries.
Jeremiah's good. I mean, we'll see tomorrow if he's got some soreness and stuff like that. But he's in good spirits. Everything was good there. Okay. And then Chase, not good. we got to run the tests and stuff like that, but not feeling great about the knee there. So it's unfortunate because he was playing well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. One of the top linemen in the nation goes down, and you hope that it's something that he could come back this season with, but the way he grabbed the back of that knee, and if it is a PCL or MCL or ACL, whatever it is, those things usually take anywhere from 8 to 10 months to get him ready. So it's unfortunate competition with he and Isaiah Adams. I'm sure Adams, and I'll have to take a look at the depth chart to see who's the backup behind Adams now. With Basantis, looks like he may be out for a while.
All right, and here's LaFleur on how big a role he wanted Love last night.
Yeah, I was hoping to get double digits, whether it be, a couple catches and some runs. So that he got the 14 right there. I wasn't really sure because, we only had the 3 drives in the first half. And so it was, I didn't know where that thing was going to go. Like, we get through 2 drives and there was like 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's crazy fast preseason game in the first half. But to answer your question, not trying to be too long-winded with it, like where he's at with the touches.
Yeah, the long drives obviously helped a lot, but I think, we talked about this earlier, Roc, when they drafted him. If he could touch 18 to 22 times, during the season, or 18 to 25 times, that's the kind of utilization you want to get out of your first-round pick. As he mentioned, he had 11 runs, 3 catches. If he plays a second half in a regular game, it might be, 14, 15 rushes, maybe 5 or 6 catches. But I think the one thing with him is the utilization in the passing game, even more so, actually running routes versus checkdowns. And so, 14 touches for just a half, or the limited amount of time he played, that was a pretty good sample size, what we're going to see from Jeremiah Love.
All right, a drive the Cardinals fans want to see a lot more of, and LaFleur breaks down Marvin Harrison Jr.'s touchdown march.
Yeah, I thought there was, good execution outside of the false start. We ended up having on the right side right there, but I thought the runs were going where they were supposed to go. The keeper, that wasn't the first read. It was an incredible throw. I don't know if you guys, my vantage point, I said, save those for September, dude. So, but no, I thought they executed well when the ball was snapped. But again, it's just some of that pre-snap stuff that absolutely kills you. And if you want to be the offense and the team that we want to be, we got to clean that up.
Great recognition by Jacoby Brissett to find Marv in the back of the end zone. The one thing I liked about that throw is that, if you're throwing that ball in the end zone, he put that ball high and out front where only Marv Jr. could catch it. So if you throw that ball inside, the defensive back that was trailing him could have tipped it or picked it. But throwing off his back foot, putting the ball out there where only Marv could get it. And if he doesn't get it, you live for another down or you kick the field goal.
All right, today's Replay Rewind is brought to you by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. Interact, need a check, make one call. That's all, 602-977-1900. So that is our rewind for today. And it's kind of nice to talk about a Cardinals team where they're scoring, because that wasn't the case in the last few years.
No, it hasn't been. The other thing that was, he looked at both teams, he talked about a quick half. It really was. When you get first downs, the clock keeps moving. And for the Cardinals, 8 for 15 in third down conversions. They were 6 for 7 at one time. And then the Raiders, they were 50%, which doesn't bode well for the Cardinals defense for third down conversions. So it was a very quick first half. Second half was much of the same, a lot of effective running. And know that, both teams only had, the Cardinals had about 370 yards total offense, Raiders about 315. It was pretty much, first downs, run, get another first down to keep the clock moving. So I thought the game moved along, had good tempo and good pace. So back-to-back games for the Cardinals were no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles, and again, over 65% third down conversions.
Yeah, no turnovers last week too, right?
So
here we are. That's good. False start's still an issue.
Yes.
But they'll figure that out. But aside from that, positive. I think there's some fans out there that, I know it's just 2 preseason games, but you gotta like what you're seeing.
Well, it's the two. When I harken back to the Cardinals and watching preseasons, I remember the one preseason, it's probably going back to 96, 97. They were 4-0, and they looked really good. And then they started the season 0-4. But this team, looks like different. Trust me, I know. I was doing the games back in those days. This team looks more organized, more consistent. The mistakes aren't glaring mistakes. Obviously, there's emphasis on taking care of the ball. Don't force the issue with the quarterback throwing down the middle or forcing into coverage. Secure the ball if you're a running back. Special teams, I thought, looked pretty good. Hustling down, keeping the ball in bounds. I mean, there's so much more organizational feel to this than we've seen the last couple of years. But, of course, it's preseason. You're going against second and third teamers. But it makes a team, I think a staff, feel good that at least they're progressing. Next week, they got the Cowboys, and the following week, they finish up with Green Bay. I think next week, both teams, the Cowboys and Cardinals, you might see a good quarter and a half of starters, or at least a good quarter of starters. And then at that point in time, you can kind of build from there.
Hey, we are getting ready to launch our fan pick'em again, and then we have also announced that we will be live at DraftKings on September 9th. It's a Wednesday. That's the first game of the season. And then every Friday, we will be at DraftKings, and it's called the Friday Football Lock-In, where you eat, watch, and win. Every Friday, you come on down from 1 to 4, and there's multiple ways to win cash. One is first 21 people that come down, there'll be an envelope, and you just pull an envelope, and there'll be a $5, $10, $20, $50, or $100 bill in that envelope. And then once you do that, you then automatically get in our lock-in card pick 5 winner, where you're betting against me for another $100. So if I win, the one who's ever closest, it'll carry over to the following week. So if I continue to win, like I probably will, I mean, it could get up to $500, $600, $700.
Wow, look at Roc coming out of pocket over here.
And if you can't if you can't get over to DraftKings, we'll be doing the same thing. We'll be doing a weekend lock and on air for a $100 DraftKings gift card. So that's every Friday. We are looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. And that'll start on the 11th of September. And then also Charlie Regal will be joining us out there as well from 2 to 3 for an Arizona football college hour. So we got a lot going on. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to this. Football season's here. Of course, Monday at Biggs. So excited. It's here finally. And we'll get to Michael Bankston next. What will be the biggest keys for this Cardinals defense as it comes together, as the former Cardinals defensive lineman will give us his thoughts on last night's game. But Laz is here with another sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The Cardinals picked up their first preseason win last night, beating the Raiders 27-14 as the offense looked to be in mid-season form. The victory did come at a cost, however, as second-round rookie guard Chase Basantis went down with what head coach Mike LaFleur described as a long-term injury, likely ending his rookie season before it ever really got started. And in the MLB, the D-backs are in Atlanta tonight for the start of a 3-game weekend set against the Braves. First pitch from Truist Park is set for 4:15, and you can catch all of that action on 98.7 FM. Football season starts at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local lodge, and commissioners will get a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything that you need for draft day.
When it comes to sushi, reputation matters, and Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try sushi pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California roll, spicy tuna roll, and the surf and turf roll topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com. When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills or powders is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny amounts can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. Sponsored by Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Attention all Arizona workers. You may be entitled to receive earned paid sick time. Every Arizona employer is responsible for keeping track of your hours and recording how much earned paid sick time is available under state law. Posters about paid sick time and minimum wage laws also need to be posted in every office. Get posters and learn more at azica.gov. That's azica.gov. This message is sponsored by the Industrial Commission of Arizona.
He's a proud Sam Houston State alum who played 9 seasons in the NFL for the Bengals and Cardinals. Ranked number 62 on the Arizona Republic's top 100 all-time Cardinal players. A great follow on Twitter, X at Big Bank 90. Michael Bankston now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
It's under center Mendoza. Play action fake, back to throw, looking towards the end zone, rolling left, pressure from behind, and down he goes. It is Walter Nolan, the third, second-year man out of Ole Miss. The big defensive tackle gets home.
How about that? As the Cardinals beat the Raiders last night in their second preseason game, as you just heard, Walter Nolan, the third, with his sack. He looked good, looked gassed at the end, but that's all right. And Michael Bankston joins us now, Big Bank 90 on X. All right, so did you, after last night's game, you got them winning like 9 games this year now, maybe 10? That offense looks good there, big fella.
There we go.
You know what? 2 weeks in a row, even with the Hall of Fame game, and we know a lot of the big-time players wouldn't do much, but then those role players came in and did what they needed to do, just like this week. And I mean, my hands off to them because they played a complete game on both sides of the ball, and I was impressed about that. I know it's preseason. I know it's the Raiders. But at the end of the day, they just have to have that mindset and that mystique and take it into the season and complete those games. Because even if they would have completed some games last year, they would have won a lot more games, and we all know that.
I think fairly clean games on both sides of the ball, not too many penalties. But what are some of the things that this defense, and watching that game yesterday, Banks, that you'd like to see them clean up on the defensive side?
Well, I mean, you always want to stop the mental errors, and you know, when those couple of touchdowns that was happening, and then of course in the context of the game is ebbs and flows, and it's the tug of war type. But you still want to do your best and be in position to make those plays. And I'm sure when the coaches have, then they draw up those defenses, they draw up for every scheme that the offense is running for that particular defense, whether it's cover 3, cover 2, cover 4. A dog, a zero, a blitz, whatever the case may be. So you know where you need to be, and you just make sure you need to be in that position. I would just say clean up that. I'd say put some more pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, they got a couple of sacks. Yeah, but I think they need to put a lot more pressure on the quarterbacks. Linebackers need to still fill those gaps. And secondary need to cover. And, you know, if we get those covers, we still didn't get no interceptions, which would have been huge, but that's part of the game, too, playing the short side of the field, turnovers as well. So all those things still need to be worked on. I mean, they still got a couple more games before the regular season starts. But 2 games in a row, you know, my hands off. They look pretty decent.
So when you watch Walter Nolan, we heard the highlight coming back out of the break. When you watch him Banks, what do you look for in that young man as far as whether he's growing, progressing? You just heard the 1 sack there, but what are you looking forward to on a more consistent basis with him?
Hey, so we was actually able to do the Alumni Legends Week for the Cardinals was this past Sunday. We did the red and white scrimmage, and I looked at the defense. I looked at the ones even just sitting on the sideline that wouldn't even playing that much, or were just in their shorts and t-shirt. Then I looked at the D linemen. I'm saying, how they caliber, how they come out, how they carry themselves on and off the field. People don't realize that's just important. Wilbur Marshall taught me that, and I agree with it. How you approach the game and all aspects is huge. I saw a difference in Nolan. I saw Robinson. I saw those guys wanting to. Seemed like they were a lot hungry. Seemed like they want to fare well, do well, and be the best that they can be for the team and make a difference. That's what I see now. The consistency aspect of it, we talked about that. We got eliminate the injuries. I even talked to Mike Billwell when I was out there too, and we talked about some of the same things because defense, what we need to do to be more impactful on defense. Those D linemen got to go up there and rush the pass and stop the run. First stop the run, then rush the passer. That's what we need to do. We need to do more of it. Linebackers need to be able to go downhill and feel. And the secondaries need to cover with tighter coverage, have those open coverages because the tighter coverages will make it difficult for the quarterback to make those throws. So we know all those aspects of those phases of the defense needs to come together and just play better overall.
Does it concern you that Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza both against the first team went right down the field on that defense?
Yeah, I saw that, and interesting. I did think about that because I said, okay, we won this game, but Kirk Cousins ain't play that much, and then Mendoza didn't play that much. So yes, I understand that they had their full Monty in there. Then it'll be probably a different story, different scenario, and that's the thing we have to work on. We got to be able to play at that level of the best players that are coming out there, which would be the first teams for every team we're getting ready to play moving forward. We just got to be up there and be able to step up our game and play accordingly, no matter who's on the field. If they get that understanding, no matter who's on the field, I'm going to be dominant. Then that's how you get the Tom Brady's with the Patriots and that era, and the Cowboys in their area, and the Steelers in their area. They don't care. They didn't care who was on the field. They just knew they was going to kick some butt at the end of the day. Hopefully, again, the Cardinals get that mindset and that atmosphere grows in the locker room.
Michael Bankston joining us here on ESPN Radio 620. Given what you saw from Nolan last night, the brace, the effort, the sack, what do you think his ceiling is this season if he can stay healthy?
Key phrase there.
Yeah, that's a key phrase, staying healthy. Playing in the interior, those guys, and of course some of the guys that have changed the game and got those 8 and 10 sacks in the interior. Normally, you're looking at about, if they kill in the game, you're looking at about 6, 7, 7.5 sacks in the interior because they normally either gonna get double team or double team rub off, or somebody gonna come and hit them even though they think they're clean. They're gonna get a hit unless they get some freebies. But if he gets it 6.5, 7.5 sacks, he done his job. I'm sure he'll feel good about himself, and I'm sure he will be looking to increase that. But the key to that whole thing is what you said. If he stays healthy, and I hope those guys, him and Robinson, the rest of those guys, I hope they stay healthy. I hope Josh Sweat comes back and he'll be full tilt. He knows what it takes to be a veteran. So. I'm not concerned about it. I just want to make sure he's totally healthy when he comes back.
Banks, even though it's early, for a defense, as far as goals and metrics you guys like to set, what's the goal for you guys in reference to the opposing team on average rush? So let's say the last 2 games, the defense has given up over 5.5 yards per carry, and they've also given up close to 65% of third down conversions. So does a per carry average on the defensive side and third down conversion, is that one of the goals you want to say keep a team at 4, 4.5, or maybe keep a team at 35% as far as third down conversion, or is that just not a thing when you guys set goals on defense?
No, that is a thing, and it's interesting you mentioned that. And honestly, I was thinking like I was going back to what we used to talk about. You keep a team 17 points or below and give you your best opportunity to win. You keep them in third down and their percentages 30% or less, you give yourself a chance to win. You keep a running back at 3 yards or less per carry, you're giving yourself a better chance to win. Yes, you are totally correct on everything you said. We also said if you can keep a team, even with a high-scoring team, around that 200 to 300 yards total offense or less, you just give yourself a better chance. These still are pros. It's this rarity to shut somebody out. We've seen it, but it's a rarity at the end of the day. So you just got to make those numbers more realistic and give yourself the best chance. But when you reach those goals, you should be in the winning category.
It's interesting because on the offensive side, to help you guys out, on the offensive side, you're looking, once the season starts, 4.5 per carry, at least 40 to 45% third down conversions, and keep that going, because when the offense does that, it gives you guys that rest in order to meet your goals on the defensive side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, you just flip it, and you want to increase those numbers. We're actually hoping that with third down percentage, at least 50% plus on the offensive side of the ball, and then their yardage per play hopefully is rounding, so that's including his running and passing, is hopefully up there around 8 to 9 yards per play. If you look at that, then you always a yard or two from getting the first down. All those things equate, keeping the defense off the field, keeping the offense having that momentum, because just like defense, offense got to have that momentum. And actually, offense have to have that momentum even better than the defense does, even though we need to stop and get off the field. But the offense need to take a ball maybe 80 yards, maybe 90 yards, in some cases 99 yards to score. And that momentum and that mindset has to last a lot longer than the defense. On the defensive side of the ball. So, yes, that momentum has to be up there. They need to continue to progress in that area on all phases. But on offense, keep us if we sit on the bench, I'm eating a sneaker bar. I know I don't supposed to eat it during the regular season, but I'll eat it during I ate some and hot dog during the preseason. But, I mean, we're doing well. We're doing well if we can do that.
Michael, as you're looking at this defense, you forget the preseason context, but what's the one thing about this defensive unit that actually maybe it concerns you heading into the regular season? I know it's only 2 preseason games, but is there anything you can pull, or is it still a little too early?
You know what? I'm realistic on my mindset, and I do this in my evaluation. I just put on my evaluation. Everybody's different. Everybody, sometimes they'll ride a coattail and get on a high horse. But playing in the league, I'm always just leery. Just like I want to see how they gel together when it comes down to regular season. Yes, I do believe it's a little early to tell. I think we done well in the preseason before, and then as soon as the season started, it looked like we never understood what football was all about or execution is all about. And that's where I will wait to make that judgment and make that decision on that first game. Oh, actually, not even the first game. I need to see several games and see how hungry these guys are and see how they mesh together as a defense and play call in the secondary. How those safeties. I know Buda Baker is phenomenal, but how the rest of them going to come together and make those stops. That's important for the whole. And Will Johnson, coming into his second season, how he's going to be as well. So all those things are still question mark. But my judgment and my decisions will not be until maybe several games into the regular season and see how these guys play.
All right, Banks, got about a minute. Just real quick, how long do you play the starters against Dallas next Saturday?
I don't even like Dallas, so just play them the whole goddamn game and whoop their ass. That's my mindset. And I'm just being real because everybody knows me. That knows me, I'll say the same thing. But normally this is a third preseason game. And if they're categorizing like we used to do, normally they'll probably play maybe at least a half to see how they do, maybe even going into the third quarter to see how they come out the locker room. That will be my thought process on that. And then, of course, they get the 4 preseason games that you can relax those guys, and then you're going to see who you need as far as when the cut comes and see who you want to keep on the roster in that 4th game. But this 3rd game, I'll try to play them at least a half and even going into the 3rd quarter.
Michael, appreciate you, buddy. Have a great weekend. Thanks for the time today.
Will do. I'm actually down here in North Carolina getting my daughter into a junior year at North Carolina A&T. So
nice.
Yes, it's my last of the Mohicans on my side. So she's about to be a junior, and I'm looking forward to graduation.
There you go. I love it. That's Michael Bankston, Big Banks. Appreciate him joining us here to talk some Cardinal football, even when he's on the road, taking his daughter to college. Good stuff there. All right, Pro Football Talk has the Cards dead last in the rankings. Yep, Mike Florio has ranked Arizona 32nd out of 32 teams this preseason power rankings, behind the Raiders and the Browns and the Jets. Kansas City, it was only 13th. Seattle was number 1. We're going to get into a little bit of that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio 620.
Football fans, it's time to draft your team and kick off another season. This year, take your fantasy football draft party to Twin Peaks. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs. Round up your league, grab a table, and get ready for the picks, the rivalries, and a full season of bragging rights. Start your fantasy season at Twin Peaks. Book your draft party at your local lodge today.
Ball players, legends. One incredible weekend of golf. It's the MLB Retired Players Association Celebrity Classic, September 19th through the 21st at Ocotillo Golf Club in Chandler. Play around paired with an actual MLB player, plus swag, breakfast, and lunch, while raising money for retired players, kids with autism through music movement, and ASU baseball scholarships. Foursomes are going fast. Register today at music-movement.org. That's music-movement.org.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Home. It's more than a place. It's love, laughter, joy. It's where we belong.
Home is wherever you are, buddy.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you're not only giving them a home, you're finding yours too. You're finding love, laughter, and an unbelievable new best friend. Adopt your very own crypto. Visit bestfriends.org/Supergirl. And together, we will save them all.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Wright Toyota On This Day report. Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale.
We go to 71. One of Manuch's favorite players, Bob Gibson, throws his first and only no-hitter. Dominated Pittsburgh 11-0. He struck out 10 and walked 3. By far one of the most intimidating pitchers ever. And he finally got a note. So also on this day in 59, Magic Johnson was born. So he's 67 today.
A very wealthy Magic Johnson.
So there you have it on this day. Brought to you by Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price, Wright Toyota. All right, let's move on to a little football at 50 as Mike Florio dropped his 1 through 32 preseason rankings. And there are a few spots that should get people yelling at the radio, I would think. Top 10. Seattle, LA Rams, Houston Texans at number 3, Denver Broncos 4, Buffalo, Chicago, New England, Philly at number 8, Jacksonville at number 9, and Baltimore at number 10. Seattle, of course, gets number 1. They're the defending champions. And Mike Florio basically said the gap between Seattle and the LA Rams is razor thin. He put Houston 3rd because of their defense. And Denver, maybe because they didn't make a lot of moves. They're consistent. They've been very consistent with their team.
And they went to the AFC Championship game last year, the backup quarterback last year.
Some surprises. Kansas City's 13th. I know you should count out Patrick Mahomes, but you never know. Detroit 14, Cincy 15, Green Bay 16, Dallas 17. Of course, I mentioned the Cardinals dead last at 32. And his reasoning, and it's fair, tough schedule, tough division, and a roster that he doesn't believe is good enough. And he feels that they are in pole position right now for the first pick in the 2027.
I would agree with him, Roc. I think that, you look at the first 11 games, you might the only, I think, actual winnable game will be the New York Giants game. That game, I believe it's on the road. But I looked at the
Jets are here.
Is that game? Okay. So those first 11 games, it is a onslaught of teams. So the Giants, technically, home game, that might be the one you win. Now, you may go on the road and you might get lucky and win one here and there. But I got to tell you what, I looked at that schedule now, and you talk about the teams in the power rankings. I think they have, 5 or 6 of those guys in the top 10 or top 15 that the Cardinals have to take on and play. And the other side of that is he's alluding to the depth or lack of depth the Cardinals have. And in reference to that, his feeling is you better have all hands on deck. You better have everybody healthy, and you better be able to score a lot of points because you got to cover for your defense if you're going to move up at any point in time for power rankings during the regular season. I mean, I totally hear what he's saying. There's just not a lot there. They can move the ball, but they can't stop anybody. And I think he's looking at that as well, too.
All right, Jacksonville Jaguars are going cheap on concessions. They're launching their fan-first favorites menu at their stadium. And this one's simple. $4.99. Hot dogs, popcorn, pretzels, nachos, candy, water, even a 12-ounce domestic beer. How about that? You're seeing more of that.
$4.50.
It's got to be one of the smartest things an owner can do. You're already charging me parking. You're charging me tickets. You're charging me everything else. Give me a $5 hot dog and a $5 beer. And
a $5 beer.
Be pretty happy.
Yeah, $5 beer. When's the last time you saw a $5 beer?
Have you been to my bar yet?
Well, I guess I have.
We have 375 Busch Lights.
Do you really?
It's the number one seller.
Oh,
it's called Orangedale. That's up there.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, we had a nice little remote up there.
The Cardinals COO, Jeremy Walls, will be stepping down after the season. He's been with the organization for 4 years, and he has overseen a significant restructuring of the business side of this franchise. And during his tenure, he reorganized the non-football departments. He opened up that new Tempe business office. He added new hospitality partners. He reworked the Cardinals charities, which then became the Arizona Cardinals Foundation. He launched the new premium road game travel experience for fans. So Michael Bidwell said he thanks Walls in a message to employees, and that the Cardinals have now begun their search for his replacement. So this matters because, the Cardinals aren't just rebuilding the football side. They're trying to modernize the entire organization. And so the next COO, it's pretty important. It's a pretty important hire. So let's hope that that'll help. But the question is, why is he leaving after 4 years?
Yeah, it's
Maybe
interesting.
He's got a better game.
And you got a brand new facility being built down the road here off the 101.
Be a nightmare.
A lot of dirt being moved over there, Roc.
It's all cleaned out. I saw it yesterday. All right, this story keeps getting more serious. Bears president Kevin Warren from the Valley reiterated that the franchise is focused on building a new stadium in Hammond, Indiana. And the Bears have completed their due diligence on the Lost Marsh Golf Course site and calls it viable. They also are studying nearby this Wolf Lake terminal property. And there's even a possibility the team could combine portions of both sites. So they haven't officially committed to leaving Illinois, but it looks as though that's going to happen. And I used to think that this was leverage. I'm not anymore. I think it's pretty safe to say they're going.
I was just
they're going to keep the name. They made that clear yesterday. I saw that on the ticker last night.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, is this one more shot across the bow for negotiations? But I got a feeling that Kevin Warren's got to pull. He's got to pull the trigger.
Oh, Mr. Softy's here.
Yeah, he's got to make.
Mr. Softy's here.
Is he here?
Yeah,
Oh.
Mr. Softy's here.
But he's got to make this move. Let's get this thing off the schneid, get it moving. But I don't think the state of Illinois will come back. They say, hey, look, we gave you our best shot. All right, Kevin, go ahead. You keep the Chicago Bears. You're over in Indiana. Move on. I think he's at the point now. Let's just go get this thing done. Just go make it happen.
Financially, it's smart.
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. It makes
very smart.
Total sense.
All right. Biggs American Bar and Grill is your home for Monday Night Football again. We did this $10,000 roll the dice game. Now, this year, it's $25,000. Great place for preseason football, regular season. It's all there. Perfect place to host your fantasy football draft. It's all Biggs at Biggs. Ice cold drinks, loaded burgers, wall-to-wall TVs. And it's located just off the 101 at 83rd Avenue in Bell in Peoria, right near the Peoria Sports Complex. So you can hit them up at BiggsPeoria.com and lock in your fantasy draft party now. That's Biggs, where Peoria goes for football. Jaden Daniels sent LSU a cease and desist letter because they gave his number to another player. And how about a fantasy football guy's wife making him quit the league? I'll tell you why that is. It meant flag football lost? How does that happen? I'll tell you about that next.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favorites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch for the free trial.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hi, it's Wayne from Amco, stopping by the station to check in with Roller.
Hey, Wayne, what's going on today?
Well, the biggest question I hear lately is, do you have to go back to the dealer where you bought your car to get service or repairs?
Wayne, that's a good question. Do you?
No, Roller. If you bought a new or a new used car and you have an extended warranty contract that's hiding in your glove box, please don't forget it's there and that you can use it at any Amco.
Oh, I thought you had to go to the dealer to keep your warranty valid.
Yes, most people do, but that's not the case. You can have your vehicle serviced at any authorized service center. And Amco's authorized by all of the major warranty companies.
Wow, that's great. It's so nice to have other options.
I'll say Amco has dealership quality, rental cars, no hassles, and faster service.
Wayne, that's great. And just to make sure, Amco does more than transmissions, right?
That's right. If you need your vehicle repaired or hear, feel, see, smell, or even think you have a car issue, please call Amco first or for a second opinion.
There you go. Google Amco for your nearest location. That's Amco, AA, MCO, transmissions, and a whole lot more.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
Call 977-1900.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, You need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy, spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Let's check the feed. I've been out there scrolling so you don't have to. Every sport, every story, everything blowing up online right now. The highlights, the hot takes, the viral moments, the stuff you're going to be talking about all day. It's all coming across the feed. Here's what's buzzing in the sports world. Let's dig in.
All right, some of the stuff behind the game. So Jaden Daniels, former ASU quarterback, won the Heisman with LSU. Played great, did everything right, then moves on to the NFL, gets drafted by Washington, and now finds out that LSU gave his number 5 to a cornerback named DJ Pickett. Not a big deal, right? Wrong. Daniel's lawyer sent LSU a cease and desist letter saying he's cutting ties with the school because they won't retire his number. Now, the letter says it's incredibly disappointing, is the quote. Like, quote, a failure to what Jaden accomplished. Here's the thing, though. LSU never promised to retire his number. Mm-hmm. Lane Kiffin says they promised it to Pickett when he signed. So Jaden's mad because LSU didn't do something he's mad because LSU didn't do something they never committed to doing. And now he's upset with this relationship with his alma mater. He wants his number retired. I don't know if this is ego. You win the Heisman, you're in the NFL. Maybe move on, Jaden. I mean, this isn't that big a deal. LSU has so many great players. They won't have any numbers left if they started retiring numbers.
I was just going to say.
At LSU.
Yes. You know, I don't know, this one to me, Roc, remember how his mother used to meddle in everything?
Oh, jeez. She's probably involved in that.
Remember the sanctions and all that happened during COVID? She was involved there. I don't know. I just, if it smells like chicken, looks like chicken, it's chicken. I just wonder if she's in the middle of this. I'm not saying she is, but it's like if they don't retire your number is game for anybody. This kid used to wear, DJ Pickett used to wear number 3. They promised him number 5, so they're going to give him number 5. It's not retired. And I think those are some of the things that you sit there and go, hey, look, if it's not retired, your number is game for anybody. And I think those are some of the things that you look at from anybody. Okay, so if you put their name on the Hall of Fame, they retire your number at that time, okay. But in the meantime, you got guys that'll use that number all the way. And if that kid's number, he said his number's been number 5 all the time.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he used number 3. Now he wants number 5, and they're allowing him to have it. So be it. I mean, it's like you can't linger. Move on, Jaden Daniels. You're in the National Football League. Why should this be a thing? They want LSU to stop any kind of name, image, and likeness situations.
So was it
at all?
I mean, what Florida school was Jaden at before he was at ASU? Was he?
He was at ASU and then LSU.
What was he before ASU?
He was a freshman. Came in as a freshman. Remember, he came in as a freshman.
All right, I thought I may have confusing him with another quarterback that was so.
There was a kid that came in. It's been to like 3 different schools. There was a kid that came in as a freshman.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. My bad then.
You're thinking of the kid a couple years ago.
So, but he was here for a few years. So, I mean, maybe if he played at LSU for all 5 years, that'd be a little bit different.
Yeah, and you know what? It's up to the school to retire the number. Move on.
I didn't tell me where. All right. This is kind of like a Manuch. A guy just posted that his wife is making him quit fantasy football.
I would never post that.
Not because he's losing money, not because he's ignoring his family. She just doesn't want him to play anymore.
Wow.
And he's actually considering it. And just throw your man card in too, dude.
Yeah, no kidding.
One guy, one league, one wife drawing the line and saying, pick me or pick football.
Oh,
and the internet went absolutely bonkers trying to figure out whose side to take. But here's what I can tell you. Fantasy football has gotten so insane. I think we all know that. It's very time consuming. And that's actually breaking up marriages, probably. I'm not married, so I don't have to worry about it. But guys are checking their lineups at dinner. They're refreshing their stats during family time. They're more invested in their fantasy football team than maybe their actual life at times. But it's a weird cultural moment right now where a hobby becomes a lifestyle, and now lifestyles are changing because of it. I'm sure there's more to this story than just the fact that his wife won't let him play fantasy football. First of all, man, she's probably never mind. I mean, that's not somebody I want to have a beer with.
Well, I think,
come on, dude, let your husband play fantasy.
Here's you just mentioned, we don't know the full story. He might be addicted to his fantasy, and it's causing about whatever going out and doing this and doing it. If he's full force and effect, his job, his fantasy, and then her. Look, time out. It should be me, your job, and your fantasy. I don't think she has any problem with the fantasy football. It's just all the time he's spending on the fantasy. She's going to put her foot down and say, hey, enough's enough.
All right, a lot of buzz with U.S. flag football. And flag football in general has become a very popular sport. It's getting up there. It's not the fastest growing sport like pickleball or disc golf or anything like that. But the U.S. men's flag football team just lost for the first time since 2012. 14 years without a loss and someone beat them. Nobody's talking about it. Flag football is barely on the radar for most of us. But this team has been absolutely dominating for over a decade. And finally they fell. It's like a dynasty ending, and nobody noticed because the sport isn't mainstream yet. But flag football is growing. It's an Olympics. It's going to be in the Olympics. It's getting some real investment, too. And when that dynasty finally breaks and the sport is bigger, that loss is going to matter more than it does right now. So they can't be doing that.
Who'd they lose to? Did they say who they lost to? There's a lot of good players out there. I mean, I can imagine. But, I mean, I watched that team school the pro athletes. When was that? About 3 or 4 months ago in the offseason. They schooled those guys.
So they lost to American Samoa.
Samoa.
Samoa, 38-32, and it happened in Germany.
Well, the Samoans are known for their rugby. They're pretty good football player. All those guys. I mean, that's probably a very good team. And, you know, as you mentioned, you got the Olympics coming up with flag football. You know, that's one of those sports where, okay, you lost first time in 12 years. Why'd you lose? Because if American Samoa is that strong, just heads up that they're going to try to get better as well as you.
The number 1 overall pick, you got to see him last night, got his first NFL reps. Of course, we're talking about Fernando Mendoza. And the reports are coming out that he is intentionally staying away from certain parts of Las Vegas. He's avoiding the casinos. He's avoiding the strip. He's trying to stay clean, which is actually smart. Young quarterback, new city, first real chance to prove himself. Last thing he needs is to get caught up in the Vegas nightlife before the season starts. But the fact that this is even being reported means that the league's watching. The league is watching like a hawk.
They watch.
You know, the media is always looking for something. So this kid's trying to be smart, and hopefully he can continue to be smart.
It's amazing how much the league knows what's going on out there with guys outside the facility. I remember my rookie year. It was like, wow, how do they know we were there or here? Matter of fact, myself, Fred Smirlis, and Jim Haslett, we went to a sports bar on a Friday night, had a game Sunday, just had a couple of beers, ate, and we left. Next morning, Bud Tallman, our PR director, walks up and says, hey, Freddie and Haz and Manuch, I need to talk to you guys real quick. He says, hey, look, we understand you guys were at a place last night, blah, blah, blah. We don't mind you guys going out, but there's certain facilities we don't want you going to. So he was insinuating that
you guys were at a strip club?
No, we're at a strip club. This was run by the mob.
It's a strip club.
No, it wasn't a strip club. It was a sports bar. No, there was no strippers in there.
That had a stripper.
No, we didn't have it. No.
They had strippers in there.
I didn't do the strip bars back in the day. They're just
you did them. So you do it now?
No, I did one bachelor party we did. And Mike, it was Mike Hughes' bachelor party. We did the strip club, Bourbon Street for took the trolley down
Where's
there.
That at, Manish?
Yeah, around Thomas.
You know exactly where it is. All right, and nobody's really noticed this last story. Tesla has announced that the Model S is being discontinued after this year. The car that basically invented the electric vehicle movement in America is done. Same with the Toyota GR Supra. 25 years of the Ford Escape is gone. The Jaguar F-Pace is the last gas-powered Jag ever made because they're all going electric. So, we're seeing a lot of changes in the car industry as we're here out of Wright Toyota. But that's kind of interesting when you hear that, the industry is moving so fast that the Ford Escape is going away.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see some of these cars that have come down the road for years, right? Pardon the pun. I mean, you think of I remember the Saturn. Remember the Saturn was
they used to sell the Saturns here.
They did.
You used to drive a Saturn, didn't you?
No.
What was that little car you drove that was here? The one you got a ticket in that you lied to me.
Oh, no, I didn't lie to you.
You didn't tell me right away.
Oh, that was the
Scion.
Yeah. That was
the Roc and Manuch Scion.
That was the Honda Scion.
We've had a Scion, and then we've also had the Swagger wagon.
Yes, we did.
We had the minivan that had our picture on it.
We had a Kia.
Whatever happened when we got rid of all those cars?
I'm sure they sold. I'm sure they made a profit when they had our banner on this side. Roc and Manuch.
I don't know about
more that. Sold it for.
Hey, when you're looking for great food and a great place to watch a game, Twin Peaks is always on the list. The burgers are made from scratch. The beer is always served at a frosty 29 degrees. We always start there on Thursdays with Michelob Ultra and Bud Light, and every seat has a great view. That's Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. All right, we'll turn our attention to the D-backs, facing one of their toughest road trips of the year. The next 6 games, Braves, Red Sox. What will they have to do in order to win both series? We'll break it down next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio 620. We're also on FM at 98.7 HD2. YouTube right now, we're streaming, and the Arizona Sports app.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Hey, Arizona State football fans, London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lineman, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lineman Road, it's the way it goes. On 977-1900, 977-1900.
Make Azul Bar and Grill your new favorite hangout. Sing along with live karaoke, play bingo, catch the best local bands, or challenge your friends in the game room. Add great food, a fun atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels welcome. And you've got good times waiting at Azul, located at 3134 West Carefree Highway in Tremonto Plaza. See daily events and specials at azulgrill.com.
Driving high can get you a DUI. Instead of getting behind the wheel, designate a sober driver or rideshare. In Arizona, drug-impaired driving is illegal, even if the drug is legal. So drive sober or not at all. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving, since drugs slow your reaction time and cloud your judgment. If you feel different, you drive different. Visit drivesober.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
And the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Yeah, there's an assortment of reasons. I thought maybe a pitcher's pitch was swung out early in counts. You have to identify what the pitcher's trying to do to you with a man on first base. He's going to try and throw you his best ground ball pitch. We did that. Other things, we came out of our approach a little bit at a very critical time. Overall, you build innings and you have 21 base runners on any given day. You got to be very pleased with it. You got to finish the deal.
Runners in scoring position. Been a challenge for this team all year as they head to, that being the D-backs, head to Atlanta for a 3-game series that matters way more than it looks. Braves are just one of the best teams in baseball. They had the best record second half of the season. They're 73-48. They're running away with the National League East. D-backs 64-58. They're hanging on by their fingernails for that second wild card spot. So this is what as Manuch likes, this is what I like to call it. I'll call this a prove-it series. A prove-it series for a team that can't afford to lose to contenders. They need to. So it's not going to get easy. You got the best pitcher in baseball right now, you could say, Chris Sale. Mm-hmm. He's got, I think, the second best ERA, or even maybe the first. 2.20 ERA. He is their ace. It's kind of a mismatch if you look at Brandon Pfaadt, who's 3.36. He's been good. This is their best shot to win, is having him in there, unless Rodriguez was going to go today, but he's going to go tomorrow. He's been lights out. Or he's a disaster. But, and then Soroka will go on Sunday. And he's getting back from that, glute injury, right? He had, I think.
Yeah, in his last game, and what did he go, 4 innings? He pitched fairly well. I thought he did a pretty good job. Yeah, you look at Pfaadt. I mean, the last 7 starts, he's won 5, no decision. I think he's got a 1.73 ERA in his last 7 starts. He's pitching very well. And to your point, Chris Sale, one of the top pitchers, not only in the National League, throughout all of Major League Baseball. And I think that, it's all well and good, as you heard Tori there, and as we came back from the break, getting the 21 runners on, but they've really got to figure out, especially against a team like Atlanta, and when you're taking on a guy like Sale, how to get runners over, get them in scoring position. I would love to see more moving guys over with the bunt. I'd like to see more hit and run. We don't see a lot of hit and run from this Diamondback team. Put some pressure, force the issue on this Atlanta Braves team. And I think those are some of the things they're going to have to do. You talk about the Braves for 3 games, and you got the Red Sox who, they were hot. They've cooled down. They lost 2 in a row. But I just want to see more movement, more steals, more hit and run, move guys over. Problem is, this Diamondback team has trouble bunting. A lot of guys, they try to bunt, they pop it up. We've had a couple pop-ups to the catcher. And but you've got to get those runs in. We saw 3 times in that game against Colorado, 3 back-to-back innings of bases loaded and nothing to show for it. And those are some of the things you just can't happen if you're going to
just cringing.
He is, and he just said it. The approach at the plate, guys were anxious. They were swinging at a pitcher's pitch, meaning pitcher had it right where he has you, right where he wants you. Just sit back, get your pitch, try to drive the ball up the middle or drive it for a sacrifice slide, at least get 1 or 2 runs in.
So when you look at the wild card, this is where it breaks. As of today, the NL wild card line, Cubs, Padres, Phillies, Arizona half game back of the cutoff. So D-backs do not currently hold the 3rd spot. The Phillies bumped them. But behind them, Cards and Cubs hanging on, which we thought was the case. But the Cubs are first wild card right now at 71-50. They're playing good, so they're ahead of everyone else. Just the Cubs and I'm worried about the Cardinals too.
Yeah,
because they could turn it on too.
Yeah, the Padres have won 5 in a row. They're 7 out of the last 10, so they're hot. They've come out of nowhere. Their Phillies they've won, but they're 5 and 5 the last 10. Diamondbacks losing 2 in the last 2 has put them a half game back. You mentioned. Then there's the Marlins. Don't forget about the Marlins. Even though they won 3 in a row, they lost yesterday. But right now, you got the Cardinals. They can make a move. They've won 6 out of the last 10. So it's going to be a race. I think the last 2 weeks, it's going to come down when you look at this team and you look at where this Diamondback team's going to go. I think one thing, and just real quick, with Fott, who I feel is probably he and Erod, as you mentioned, the top pitchers. We saw that Saturday night. We saw a classic duel between Yamamoto and Fott. Unfortunately, they lost that game to Yamamoto. The Dodgers beat them. But I think we could see another classic pitchers duel tonight's game with Fott and Sale. But again, you're not going to have much wiggle room if you've got runners in scoring position and you're going to beat a guy like Chris Sale. You just not. He doesn't make many mistakes. So you got to jump on him, and you got to take advantage of that and moving runners over, getting him in scoring position, and taking advantage of that when you can. That's the biggest thing as far as that's concerned.
All right, so the full playoff picture, both leagues, American League wild card. Yankees are 3.5 above the line. Red Sox are a game above. And then Tigers are at the cut line. They're under 500. That's how bad that is. They're chasing the Rangers, Twins, Guardians, and Orioles and Blue Jays. So that AL third spot is a total dogfight. A sub 500 team is holding it right now, and 5 clubs are within 2 games. So that's good stuff. Division leaders, just to put it in context, Rays, White Sox, and Astros. So that's great for TV. National League, we talked about it, so we have that. But basically, the Cubs are basically locked in. The real race is just like we just said. It's the Phillies, Padres, and D-backs, all separated by a game.
Yeah, +7, so they're not going anywhere. That being the Cubs. You look at that. So you look at the next 12 games, Rock. I think you mentioned, hey, prove it. You got 3 in Atlanta. You got the 3 in Boston. Who are, again, fighting to make sure they secure that wild card spot, even though they're +5. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think right now the Yankees and Red Sox, they're fine. It'll basically be between the Tigers, Rangers, and Twins. But then you come back and you got Cincinnati, who it seems like they're a little bit of a trouble for the Diamondbacks at times. Now, Cincinnati's not completely out of it. They're 5.5 back of that third spot. And then the Cubbies are coming into town. So these next 12 games for this Arizona Diamondback team are going to your point, prove it or show that they're going to have to really figure out how to get some help in the bottom half of their lineup, get runners in scoring position. And the one thing about this runners in scoring position, you look at the first third of the year, the Diamondbacks were one of the top. One of the worst. Then they became, with their streak, one of the best. And now they're one of the worst in the National League. Now, it coincides with that. You look, they also had a couple stats on bottom half of the order. The Diamondbacks are once again one of the worst bottom half of the orders in batting average, where when they were at runners in scoring position about 4 weeks ago and leading that, they had one of the best bottom half of the lineups with average. So they all coincide, the bottom half and runners in scoring position. When they're on, they're on. When they're not, they're one of the worst in both categories.
Major League Baseball announced that San Francisco will get the All-Star game in 2028. Next year, it's in Chicago at Wrigley. So I hope that we could get it again sometime, but I don't think that's going to happen for a while.
That was a lot of fun. We went over and watched the home run derby. A lot of fun watching Cecil Fielder Jr., as I recollect, won that. Yeah, I got to imagine San Francisco. What a great ballpark that is.
Oh, Oracle's awesome.
I mean, that time of year.
Like them or not, their fan base is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody's wearing a jersey. I mean, you go to that park and you're not seeing the other fans. Unless it's LA, but it's really, they just do such a good job there. I mean, same with San Diego. That's another great ballpark.
And when we were there, you had to go line up for a lottery ticket in order, if you're just going to get regular, just regular ticket. You had to line up, get there early.
For what?
To get into the ballpark. This is probably going back doing that first ballpark.
100 years?
No, this is probably going back.
What are you talking about?
This is not Candlestick, the new ballpark, Oracle.
I could go on Ticketmaster and get a ticket now.
But then when it first opened up.
It was probably when they were kicking some ass. Well, they were winning a bunch of games.
They were winning a lot of games. We were staying downtown.
Oh, all right.
We looked into it and said, you got a lottery.
Yeah.
You got a lottery in order just to get a regular general admission ticket, because it was jam-packed, because they were playing very, very well at the time.
Hey, this September, we are taking the show live to DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale for DraftKings Friday Football Lock-In. And it's real competition. It's real money. There's a pick 5. There's a call-in challenge. There's a cash giveaway. It's going to be a lot of fun, as no purchase necessary, no bet required. We'll be there starting September 9th for the Wednesday game, but September 11th for this promotion. It's a Friday from 1 to 4, and it's sponsored by us. Michelob Ultra is jumping on board too. But it's going to be a lot of fun, as you'll be a pick 5 where you get to challenge myself for $100, 2 college, 2 pro, and then the Monday night game with the tiebreaker. And then we'll have an on-air promotion as well for another $100. We'll do a game of the week with DraftKings. But the big part of it is we're giving away cash just for popping in to say hello. And we got a lot of good giveaways too. So you'll have an opportunity from 1 to 4 on September 11th, and then moving forward on Fridays. You don't know what's in the envelope. It could be a $5 bill, could be a $10 bill, could be a $20 bill, could be a $50 bill, could be a $100 bill. It's all there, and it's a few $100 that we're giving away each week, $450.
Might have a Benjamin in that bad boy.
A Benjamin?
Yeah, it's a $100 bill.
I did say 100.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
Benjamin Franklin on that mug.
Yeah. So the NFL slate is loaded. Broncos favored in Atlanta, Rams at Kansas City, Eagles in Baltimore, Cowboys in Seattle. Which one holds up? Which ones are traps? Scott Spreitzer from Doc Sports is here to break it down next. He's one of the top handicappers in the United States. He's been coming on with us for close to 20 years. He will join us live from Vegas next. But here's Laz with another Twin Peaks sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The Cardinals picked up their first preseason win last night, beating the Raiders 27-14 as the offense looked to be in mid-season form. The victory did come at a cost, however, as second-round rookie guard Chase Basantis went down with what head coach Mike LaFleur described as a long-term injury, likely ending his rookie season before it ever really got started. And in the MLB, the D-backs are in Atlanta tonight for the start of a 3-game weekend set against the Braves. First pitch from Truist Park is set for 4:15, and you can catch all of that action on 98.7 FM. Football season starts at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local lodge. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything you need for draft day.
Join us for the inaugural Orangedale Lounge Golf Classic on Thursday, October 29th at McDowell Mountain Ranch. Enjoy a great day of golf, then celebrate at the hosted 19th hole at OD's. Gather your foursome and register today at orangedalelounge.com or sign up at OD's. The Orangedale Lounge Golf Classic, where the round ends, but the party is just getting started.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, or shop anytime at ridehonda.com. That's ridehonda.com, where Arizona drives. Ride Honda.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Hey, it's Jimmy B. Football season is here, and there's never been a better time to grow your business. Partner right now with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, with live endorsements, show sponsorships, featured segments, remote broadcasts, and so much more. YouTube, social media, and commercials, all built around your goals and your budget. Visit rocandmanuch.com and click advertise. Let's grow your business together.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Are you looking for career opportunities with great benefits and job growth? How about the chance to make an impact? What we do here at the City of Phoenix matters. 14,000 employees and counting, all dedicated to making a difference in the communities where they live, work, and play. So come join us. Help us do work that makes Phoenix work. You can see all open positions and apply at phoenix.gov/jobs. This message is sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
Now, sports gamblers, Scott Spreitzer, one of the leaders and most trusted names in the country. Nobody watches and studies games more than he does. From DocSports.com, here's Scott Spreitzer, exclusively on with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
All right, let's get into the preseason action with the country's best sports handicapper in Scott Spreitzer. How you doing this Friday, Scott?
Doing well, guys. It's 2:30 p.m. and we've already got our lone baseball play in the books with the Cubbies, so I'm happy. I'm feeling
nice. Good. All right, I was at Doc Sports this morning, and I'm putting you on the spot here. Manuch didn't mention I was going to ask you about this, but talk about this early bird football package that you have, where it says that you get every college and NFL pick and all this stuff. How does that work? For those that don't understand how this works, how can you help some of our listeners that have been struggling?
No, I appreciate it. You know, what we do at Docs is different than any other place I've worked at. And what we do is you don't pay one price for college football and another price for NFL. We put it all together in one package from the start of the season right through the Super Bowl. And so when somebody purchases that package, they're getting every college football play, every NFL play all at once every week, not having to purchase multiple times. Just something that Doc Sports has done even before I got there. And we've had a really nice run. What I do in week one, I'm very cautious in week one, and that's experience of getting my rear end handed to me by the books in week one years ago. And so a few years ago, I decided, all right, we're going to make, there's probably one or two games along the line of week one that's going to have some angle, some matchup that I'm going to bet on and try to take advantage of. But the days of me doing, 5, 6, 7 plays on opening weekend are gone. And so what we've done is week two forward the last 2 years, we've been able to pick up over $13,000 for those wagering just $100 per unit. So if you do the math, and we promised everybody there'd be no math today, but if you do the math and you're a nickel per unit better, you've made over $60,000, the last 2 years. And so I'll be doing it again this year. So I just, I tell people right up front, don't expect a bunch of plays from me on August 29th in college. Don't expect a bunch of plays from me in week one in the NFL. It's going to be minimal. I don't force anything. And then usually around week two, we kick it into gear. So week one anymore, especially in college guys with nil and all the transfers, it's best to just sit back and take notes, and see what's going on. And I got a buddy of mine, he's former attorney. He was a bookie for a while, all this kind of stuff. Super intelligent guy. He throws the grammar out when he describes the early week one of college and pro football by saying, he goes, ain't nobody knows nothing about nothing. and he's a professional gambler the last 30 years. He's 80 years old. He's still what I call a mentor. And I feel the same way. Take notes in week one.
I love it. That's Scott Spreitzer. Again, DocSports.com. You can also follow him at Scott Wins. All right, let's just try to handicap some preseason games. We'll start with the Broncos coming in as favorites by 3.5 over Atlanta in Atlanta. Atlanta's got a lot more talent than I think people think. Pass or play on this one?
Yeah, it's a solid quarterback rotation for both teams, for preseason football. Denver's got that backup battle between Ellinger and Stidham. And Ellinger, guys, he threw for over 400 yards last preseason. He was a good preseason quarterback. And then you got Cooper Rush getting a lot of reps in all likelihood for the Falcons, and he's no slouch. He's had plenty of experience. They got the new head coaching angle, does Atlanta with Stefanski taking over. And in a lot of situations, that's something to look to play on. And, Denver's not likely to put a lot of regulars on the field. They've been dealing with a lot of minor injuries, bumps and bruises, and I've been reading about soft tissue injuries for a lot of the Broncos. So I doubt we see too many starters on the field for more than a series or two. What I would do here is play under 40.5. I don't think we're going to see a lot from the Denver offense. Again, we do have good quarterback rotations, but under 40.5 is the way I'd go.
Got it.
All right, second game, you got the Rams at the Chiefs. Now, am I looking at either Ty Simpson for the Rams? Then you got for the Chiefs, you got Justin Fields. Oh, by the way, that's where Justin Fields is. Or Garrett Nussmeier. So it's the quarterback player, the backup quarterbacks, the one with the more experience. Is that why the Chiefs are -2.5 because of Justin Fields, Scott?
I guess, Andy Reid's history of, playing a lot of starters, but I'm going to give you guys an angle that I saved for this show that I haven't mentioned on any other show, and I usually keep it to myself.
All right.
We love proven angles if you're going to play preseason football. Not a big angles guy in regular season, but I like it preseason and the playoffs. And road underdogs in preseason football getting 2.5 or fewer points are 86-44 against the spread since 2015. It went 2-1 last night. And the Rams fit that angle, getting 2.5 here. So when I have that kind of info, I begin my preseason handicapping with the discipline of playing on that team that fits that angle or staying away from the game. And I think the Rams are the play tonight. You get Bennett, you get Simpson. Listen, Bennett passed for over 500 yards and a 106 passer rating last preseason. And you mentioned Justin Fields. Oh, yeah, that's where he is. And Nussmeier, So I think the Rams and using that angle is not a bad play tonight.
All right, that game will be on tomorrow at 10 a.m. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Eagles at Ravens. A lot of talk about the Eagles and how they're doing this offseason. They had picked up a couple good guys in the offseason. All right, 3.5. They are dogs on the road in Baltimore.
And, Scott, does it make a difference that the Eagles have got their 25th offensive coordinator in the last 3 years? I mean, does that make a difference?
It's amazing, isn't it?
He's the eighth. He's the eighth in the last, 7-8 years, if you look at it.
Yeah. It's like, here, Mr. Hertz, you keep going to the Super Bowl, but here's another OC to try to throw you off,
Make him the
here's I'm going to give you another angle that I saved for you guys, and I play these.
Okay.
Again, it's a preseason angle only. But if this line gets to 4, if the Eagles become a 4-point favorite, a major angle comes into play for preseason football. You use the DK Sportsbook DraftKings. If a game moves at least 1.5 points, you play against the team that's been getting the money. Guys, you're 47-27 against the spread the last 3 preseasons. It went 4-0 last night. So you would play on Baltimore if that number gets to 4. It fits that angle. So I can't make a recommendation or a move yet because it's 3.5 everywhere, but especially DK where we use their lines. And so that's a situation where you would just wait. If Baltimore gets to 4, you jump in or you pass the game. And if you like talking matchups, I mean, both teams, as you mentioned, you got new OCs on both sidelines, new coach for Baltimore, new coaches up front in the trenches. Not sure if Philly's going to risk any more injuries at wide receiver. They've taken a few already. But again, wait around. If it gets to 4, jump on the Ravens.
All right, last but not least, the Cowboys are at Seattle. Seattle -2.5. Cowboys, Schottenheimer wants to move this team forward. How much he plays the starters or not. Seattle world champs, how much they play the starters or not. I got to imagine they'll treat this like the Hall of Fame game was for the Cardinals and Panthers last year. Just kind of get guys feet wet, and then next week they'll start playing more starters. I would assume, Scott.
And again, I give out 3 preseason angles here on your show, and I probably won't have 3 regular season angles the whole 17, 18 weeks of the regular season. This is the total. I like the under here. It's 38. If a total is 37 or higher, you play the under in conference matchups in preseason football. They were 2-0 last night. It's hit over 68% against the spread going back several years. I don't know if it's because these conference teams don't want to show each other anything or not. And again, it doesn't matter who's playing, how many starters are on the field for however long. It just doesn't matter. And I love these kind of angles in preseason football. So while I'll talk matchups in the regular season, I just don't care about them when we have these kind of angles. Dallas has the new OC. He's going to want to set the tone. Of course, Seattle's defense, though, has been stingy in preseason action under McDonald. They just play a lot of lows. I think they give up 18 points per game in preseason football under McDonald. So I think the under is the way to go here.
But here's the key. They got Drew Lock in Seattle as a backup. And then the Cowboys are looking to unleash Joe Milton III. Boy, he's been getting a lot of press running all over the place. I haven't seen him throw much, but he's running all over the place, Scott.
Keep running parallel to the line of scrimmage and run that clock. That's all I'm saying.
Awesome. Scott, have yourself a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Good luck, guys. Appreciate it.
Scott Spreitzer bringing it today. 3 angles for us.
Saving them for us, Rock. Those
I had my DraftKings. I did every bet that he said.
Isn't it amazing?
And I went with the 3.5, not the 4. I'm not going to wait to move to 4. I'm going to take a chance now.
It cracks me up how even preseason numbers, metrics that they've got them, even the home team, on the road team, with the backup, without the backup. But as I mentioned, with the Cowboys, all those Cowboy fans are anxious to see Joe Milton III. And all the highlights I've seen is, boy, this kid really runs well. And he's got a hell of an arm. He's a hell of a quarterback. He's got a good arm. So it'd be nice to see him play what he can do with just trying to stay in the pocket. But, there's Schottenheimer as head coach. And this guy mentioned they have a new OC where they'll take the plays out of Schottenheimer's hands per se. But a lot of folks anxious to see how athletic this kid is Joe Milton III.
Again, Fridays in September, we will be out at DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale. We're going to do a special college football hour, an Arizona college football hour with Charlie Regal. It's powered by Crest Insurance. And then, of course, we're doing the Friday football lock-in, which you'll hear a lot about, as you can win some of my cash, the $250 cash board that we'll have, the weekend lock. So that'll be Fridays 1 to 4 over at DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale. So looking forward to that. Michelob Ultra jumping on board with that promotion as well. So ASU's is they're going to travel more than 3 times the miles of some Big 12 teams this season. Now, Ole Miss has filed a lawsuit against 2 players who transferred to LSU in the college football playoff expansion fight between the Big Ten and the SEC is headed into December with no agreement in sight. We're going to break down some college football stories that we got to share next. It's Roc and Manuch live from Wright Toyota.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more. There's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, or shop anytime at RightHonda.com. That's RightHonda.com, where Arizona drives. Right Honda.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy, spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Across the country, opioid overdose deaths are going down. But in Arizona, they're rising. And it's not just opioids. Deaths linked to meth, cocaine, and kratom are increasing too. This is a crisis, but it's one we can change. Honest conversations about drug risks can save lives. Be part of the solution. Visit TalkNowAZ.com for tools and resources. Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
If you're running late to work, speeding may seem like the faster option, but it can actually slow you down. Speeding puts you, your loved ones, and everyone else on the road at risk. It's a dangerous habit that can lead to crashes, fines, and even fatalities. Remember, speeding makes it harder to stop quickly for pedestrians, road crews, or even the unexpected. Speeding is illegal, so Slowing down saves lives. For more information, visit slowdown.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
All right, Kenny Dillingham's team is going to travel more than 3 times the miles than some of the other teams in the Big 12 this season. It's just scheduling. They got Texas A&M in week 2. Then they fly to London to play Kansas in week 3. They got road games at Texas Tech, BYU, and UCF. Of course, that's University of Central Florida. And that's a grind before the season even gets really going.
Yes. Wow.
So
it's a lot of miles,
but
man.
So here's the angle. If ASU comes out of that Texas A&M game with a win, that season narrative will completely flip. Right?
Absolutely.
Now, if they lose, then the excuses are going to be built in before September even ends. Because that's what people are going to think.
Yeah, but I think you can recover. A&M's one of the top teams in the nation. I mean, they've got a lot of dudes coming back. So, I mean, if you were to lose that game, you can recover. I mean, you look at ASU, to get into that playoff format, obviously, is to win the Big 12 championship. You lose to A&M, you got a chance. Texas Tech will be extremely difficult. I think the early schedule, the 2 most difficult teams that this ASU team's going to have to take on early in the season is going to be A&M and Texas Tech. Obviously, those schools, the kind of money they've spent for the talent, NIL talent for linemen, and mostly for offensive linemen for both schools. Kansas is a much improved team, so the travel, getting there a few days ahead of time, acclimate to the time change. I believe it's 8 hours, 9 hours ahead. They thought to acclimate to. So, yeah, they're going to have some tests after Morgan State. From there on out, there's not going to be any weak sister that they're going to have to take on and prove that they can have a chance at winning that Big 12 championships.
Ole Miss filed a lawsuit against a couple of players who transferred to LSU, saying they didn't comply with their financial deal agreements. That's the portal at its ugliest, I guess, as a school suing kids because they left and took money the school felt it was owed. So this future college football, when the NIL money is real, the contracts are real, the buyouts become, legal disputes. And Ole Miss isn't wrong to protect their investment, but it also highlights basically how much this has become about money, not football.
Well, and basically Lane Kiffin, you can say poached him, recruited, whatever. But the one kid, he just accepted it was like a $200,000 raise, and then the next week he left. Now, whether he got the money or not, to your point, they're under contract. So they're suing those kids to say, look, either you give us the money back, either they might, what it sounds like to me, they might have paid them forward for this year, and that they transferred, double dipping, getting NIL money at LSU, and then taking their money, Ole Miss. They're saying wrong. You can leave, give the money back. If not, we're going to sue you, take you to court until we get the money back because you knew you accepted that money. It sounds like the recruiting process, from what I read, the recruiting process was already in place, and they left, and so they're trying to have a windfall situation or double dip from both campuses.
University of Colorado, their athletic department's Buff Club had a record for their fundraising year, generating over close to $38 million in gifts and commitments. That's the strongest fundraising they've ever had on record, even more so when, if you remember when Prime Time was there, everybody was writing checks. But it's huge, huge. I guess Derek White, the guard for the Celtics, him and his wife made a $2 million commitment. That I'm sure that helped a little bit. So
Denver's is a wealthy city. It used to be known like that Cherry Creek area. It used to be big oil money for years and years. The high tech industry has made big inroads there in Denver. So the alumni, the money is there, just a matter of getting it back to where it was. And Prime Time just said, hey, look, or Prime said, look, if we're going to compete with the Joneses, we need that money to go compete with the Joneses. So they stepped up. It's not as if they didn't have the money. I think last year when his son left his rookie year at the Cleveland Browns, it fell off. So he made the plea, and he made that plea saying, I'm going to stay. He wasn't going to go anywhere. He wanted to make sure everybody realized, I'm staying. So if I'm going to commit to you, I need your commitment, because here's the facts about trying to get these outstanding players to play and hopefully turn things around to where it was his very first year when Shador and Hunter were their junior year or sophomore years, and they left that following year. So his plea is there's a wealthy community, wealthy alumni there.
So the Big Ten wants 24 teams with automatic qualifiers. Now the ACC, they want 16. ESPN, of course, owns the media rights. They're the ones that have the leverage. So this fight's going to go into December. You know, we've had Paterno on. We've had some other people on that have thought that this would maybe get settled in September, but that's not going to be the case now. So this fight's going to go into December. Nobody's happy about it. So what this means is some school is going to get screwed out of the playoff because the conferences can't agree. And when that happens, the narrative for the entire season just changes. You know, we already bitched about the BCS, and we bitched about the AP and the UPI. And all. I don't know what the right system is anymore.
Well, we finally got our 4-team playoff. You talk about the BCS.
Yeah.
Got the 4-team playoff. Before it was just the top 2 teams. So we get a playoff, and we expanded to 8, and then we expanded to 12. I don't know what the number is. I would be happy with 16. I think 12 or 16. 16
12 or
is,
16. Yeah, either 12 or 16.
either one.
24 wouldn't be too bad. I just wonder if it would dilute the regular season at all. And are we going to see Texas scheduling Ohio State? You know, are we going to see that? I mean, teams, you know, we're seeing these incredible early games that are not conference games. I mean, come on, Ohio State, Texas.
Well, if you're gonna lose the big boy ball, you lose early, you have a chance to recover. So if Texas, like last year, Texas lost to Ohio State.
But why even schedule that?
Well, because you got to have some
if
kind
not
of.
If you're in the Big Ten or if you're in the SEC, you're already fighting every week.
Yeah,
with,
but
with
for
great teams.
They look at the power index, Rock. Their power rankings that they're going to have when they come to rankings. Who is your non-conference? I mean, that's the biggest gripe that LSU is now saying. Hey, look, ASU, we got to cut you out because we got to go get another conference game. So they're all having 9 conference games. If you have a non-conference, that is like Ohio State, or if you're in the Big 12, you get A&M like ASU, or something like that, and you win. If you lose early in the season, if ASU loses early to A&M, then they have a chance to recoup with some of the other teams they're playing. So it's all about the power index.
I understand that, but if you are an SEC school, why would you schedule a non-conference team against a team you could lose to in the Big 10 or the Big 12?
I think
if you're playing 9 conference SEC conference games, that's enough clout to get you in the playoff.
You would think, but
if you run the table.
Well, for example, if there's 6, say it goes to 16, and LSU they play, let's just say they play Notre Dame non-conference. Let's say they, for example, and they lose a close game. Plus, they play their non-conference games. Let's say they lose 3 conference games, and it comes down to, okay, who'd you beat outside your conference? Who'd you lose to? How much did you lose by? So they'll look at that factor, going, "Hey, look, hey Georgia, you guys played Arizona State, and you lost by 21 points, and here you are on the bubble. So who would they pick? They'd probably take LSU because they barely lost Notre Dame." Versus taking Georgia. Georgia's on the bubble, who got smoked by ASU. So those non-conference matters, and that's one of the things they talked about is going after 1 or 2 non-conference teams that are pretty solid, in order for you and that team not to have any question marks if you're going to be on the bubble. I think it's relevant. The thing they want to get away from is with the Alabamas taking on Samford State. The 9th game of the year, the 10th game of the year, as basically nothing more than a scrimmage. So that's why they're going to the 9 conference games. And if they're going to have non-conference games, they want at least 1 or 2 of them that got a little bit of merit for them. So you come down to the end, they're going to say, who'd you play in the non-conference? If it's, we played Ohio State, we barely lost. Okay, and then they lost to ASU by 20. that stuff's going to matter, Roc. I mean, that's going to matter when they come down to the final rankings. Now, if they get to 24,
I doubt
it may not.
Yeah, maybe a 24. But I just look at this and I'm like, why would I schedule a Big 10 team or a Big 12 team, knowing that there could be that possibility of us losing?
Well,
if I'm an SEC AD.
Well, here to that point,
why would you do that? You're already playing 9.
Yeah, and maybe that's one reason why LSU cut ASU out.
Yeah,
it was on the road.
If you lose ASU, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Oh man, they lost to Arizona State early on. You can't lose to Arizona State.
Here's the
Big
key.
12.
The other side, if ASU would have beat LSU here, if they'd have played them, I mean that's huge.
Straight for ASU.
Yeah. So it could go both ways. But if you get to 24, I think you could have the tough non-conference teams and still sneak in the back door and team of 24. And the other thing you mentioned the other day, be very curious to see if they go down the play-in format, which is being bantered around if you have 16 teams. So if the last 4 have some kind of a play-in format to justify, or let's just say in the play-in you have 20 teams, those 4 will be the mix of the 14 or the 12 through the 16.
Tarleton State,
Texas.
Stephenville or Texas somewhere.
Yeah,
I guess it's outside of Fort Worth. So 6 years ago they were Division II.
Mm-hmm.
Today they are knocking on the FBS door, and they want in. As their AD came from West Virginia and Texas Tech, and he is saying they're ready to go D1, the real D1.
I remember Jonathan Beasley, who played at K-State quarterback at Cactus. He was the offensive coordinator at Tarleton State for a few years. And he used to call me about quarterbacks here in the Valley. And he said about 4 years ago, he said, our goal is to be FCS within like 5 years. So that's the realm that they're looking to make that move.
The only way you're going to get any NIL or be part of the portal, you're not going to transfer to Tarleton State. Only thing I know about Tarleton State is they used to play GCU in basketball. Right?
Tarleton.
All right, Suns owner Matt Ishbia is facing some major financial questions after a huge drop in his UWM stock. It's a mortgage company. So what the new financing deal means and why the Suns are now part of the conversation. We'll get into that next. It's Roc and Manuch out here, right Toyota here on ESPN Radio 620.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Take your taste buds on vacation this summer at Sonic. Heat things up with the Tropical Heat Sonic Smasher. 2-hand smash patties made with Angus beef, drizzled with jalapeno pineapple glaze. Then cool down with a tropical cream slush with coconut, pineapple, and creamy vanilla soft serve. It's like a tropical vacation, minus the flight delays. Try the Tropical Duo for a limited time this summer at Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic.
Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Arizona lawyer will handle Arizona cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the front. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now, to the guys on ESPN 620.
All right, hope you have a great Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock from Wright Toyota. Roc and Manuch with you. As the Cardinals get a win last night, as their offense looked good. They started off quick. Jacoby Brissett completed all 5 of his passes for 44 yards, got a touchdown in that first quarter series, and some really good passes. The touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr. on the crossing route in the end zone for the TD. And Coach LaFleur, after the game, told the reporters, he said, save those for September, dude, when he was discussing that touchdown and the offense's overall performance. But overall, 2 straight weeks, I think most of us are pretty happy with what we've seen. And you hope that if this team's going to have any success, they're going to have to score a lot of points, because this defense is, at least right now, doesn't look quite up to speed as the offense does.
It's interesting how usually it's the defenses are ahead of the offenses in preseason, and it's the Cardinals' offense is way ahead of the defense. You look at this offense, no turnovers, no interceptions. The flow with the new offense, you can really tell it's Sean McVay all over it. Even watching the Las Vegas Raiders, I mean, Clint Kubiak, he's also from the Sean McVay school of offense. The bootlegs, the waggles, the crossing routes, very similar offenses we saw, but both very organized. Not a lot of mistakes. We saw a couple of procedure calls. But one thing you really noticed from the Raiders and from the Cardinals, securing the ball, taking care of the ball, not throwing into coverage. To your point, I was very impressed with Jacoby Brissett. Threw the ball well, good decisions, had a lot of zip on it. Gardner Minshew, 14 for 16, knew exactly where to go with the ball. He really only threw one away, and I think he had another one dropped. But he had the 2 touchdown passes, real nice back shoulder throws in the back of the end zone to Brooks for those two catches, which really you're watching Jalen Brooks, this guy in his 4th year, a savvy receiver, a veteran wide receiver, those two hooked up. So you just watch the passing game and the running game. They were at 5.3 yards on average. Algier ran well. You saw Love run very, very well.
He had 14 touches.
Yeah, he had 14 touches total. So that
seems like a lot for a preseason game.
Well, 3 catches and 11 rushes. I think they really wanted to showcase him and really want him to get used to, hey, let's put you as close to a real game as possible. Now, with a little bit of a tweaked ankle, I don't know if he plays much against the Cowboys. They might say, hey, look, we've seen enough. We might have him play a little bit with the first teamers next week, and they'll go from there. But I was impressed with Algier as well, too, how well he ran the ball. Just overall, they look very organized. But the last 2 weeks, this defense, they're going to have to really focus on pressuring the quarterback. Run stoppage, I think they They only gave up about 4.5 yards per carry as far as run stoppage was concerned. Run defense wasn't that bad, just over 5 yards, which is about what you're going to see in a preseason game. But they're going to have to learn how to put pressure. I mean, whether Josh Sweat's on this team or not, they're going to have to figure it out. And hopefully, they got to hope that Josh Sweat stays on this team and is ready to go that opening game, because if not, it's going to be first one to 42 wins if the Cardinals are going to win any games this year.
This defense, I know it's preseason, and I think it was like just about close to 5.5 yards per carry is what the Raiders ground game had on this defense. And, and there's some pretty bad tackling too, but it is preseason. But the unit is living up to some low expectations. Many had Coach Rallis, he's running the show again, right? And he was one of the guys that you didn't think was going to be back.
Yeah, we all thought he was gone.
I mean, of all coaches, defense was pretty bad last year.
Especially the last 5 or 6 games, they were horrible. They were averaging.
So Nick gets to keep his job running the show, and there was limited upgrades as a whole for this team. You're banking on Walter Nolan, and of course he looked great last night. He had a sack. But come on.
Yeah, I don't think Robinson played like Demarcus Robinson. I don't think he played. I don't see. I mean, I looked. I didn't see. I mean, you had a lot of guys. And Zaven Collins he had a decent game. He was all over the place. But after the first or second series, those guys came out. But it's going to have to be for Jacoby Brissett to stay healthy. You got to feel pretty good about Gardner Minshew picking up this offense pretty good. That he'll be the guy that'll step in. But if this thing gets way out of hand and let's say you're 2-10 after 12 games or 2-9 after 11 games, I think at that point, that's where you got to make the move for putting the young guy in. That's where you go, okay, Carson, we're going to start you. Why not? Matter of fact, I watched this Raiders team yesterday, and you saw Kirk Cousins take him right down the field for his one series. But if this Raiders team starts to wane and falter, why not put Mendoza in? And I thought the kid looked pretty good. He showed a lot of poise, got a stronger arm. He zipped a couple in there than I thought he had. He moved. He still doesn't move real well. It's kind of clunky the way he moves around. But they're going to pretty much keep him as a pocket guy. I would have no problem because of their defense. I mean, their defense looked as bad as the Cardinals or even worse than the Cardinals defense. You might consider playing that young man if Kirk Cousins can't get it done within the first 5 or 6 games.
What, Manuch, put your coaching hat on, but how can they improve? Maybe this is just a part of football, and it just seems like the Cardinals. I don't have a stat in front of me, but if you go back to past 10 years, I want to say that maybe this team has led the league or is in the top 5 of false starts. It seems to continue to be an issue for this offense. It doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is.
Well, it was definitely for the Gannon era, and then I think before that it
was for Kingsbury too.
Yeah. Well, Kingsbury, there's really no excuse for that.
Kingsbury's thing, they couldn't score in the first quarter.
Well, and Kingsbury's offense had a lot of movement. So a lot of motion, a lot of movement, a lot of shifting.
But it's going to ruin. I mean, you got all these guys in there. You got a better offense right now than they've ever had in quite some time. It's going to ruin the momentum.
Yeah, it does. And I think that's the thing Mike LaFleur was frustrated with. He said, hey, look, there's a couple times there we had some great plays, and we had the right tackle move. Matter of fact, Rock, there was like 3 or 4 times the left tackle moved early, but they didn't call it. So there probably been another couple of procedure calls. But that is one of the biggest nemesis when you have a nice drive going and somebody moves early and you go from 3rd and 1, all of a sudden you go to 3rd and 6 with the 5-yard penalty. That changes the play completely. I mean, 3rd and 1, you get a running back like Algier in there that can push the pile, even Jeremiah Love, that changes the complexion. Or if you're 2nd down and 3, you got 7 yards on a first down, you move, all of a sudden you're down 2nd and 8. So it negates the gain you had. So those are some things that got to clean up. And I'm sitting there watching this game to your point and going, well, fortunately these are happening in preseason. They can clean that up. And one of them was on Marv Jr. He moved a little early. But then again, those guys getting out there, getting used to the cadence. You saw a couple times, I think Gardner Minshew did a great job of coming up and going, kill, kill, kill. And when he does that, he goes to the second play called in the huddle, and they did fairly well with that. So I was impressed with the way Minshew ran the offense and how he handled a lot of the audibling that they did with that second unit.
So the worst thing to come out of in last night was seeing Chase Basantis go down with that left knee injury. He was carted off after he had been in the medical tent, and LaFleur told reporters post-game that the injury was not good. Of course, he's the second rounder, and that's just unfortunate. What a blow for a rookie and an offensive line as a whole. I mean, there's a lot of talk that he was really competing hard against Isaiah Adams, but this isn't good.
Do you see
seeing that?
You see LaFleur walking out there to read his lips as he's walking out there to Basantis. So he's walking out there and he's like looking up, going, "You got to be freaking kidding me!" Like, here your second pick, one of the top linemen in the nation, fighting for a job. He just looked in the air and you could see him mumble a couple things like, "You got to be freaking kidding me." And it's unfortunate because this kid, from all indications at camp, we catch up with Tyler Drake every week for Arizona Sports, and they say, hey, this kid was really pushing Adams, who's in his third year now, Isaiah Adams. And you just hate to see anybody get hurt, especially one of your top picks, who's really been doing a very good job for a rookie after just 3 short weeks in training camp.
Hey, starting September 11th, we will be live at DraftKings Sportsbook at TBC Scottsdale. We're doing a promotion called the Lock-In Card, where you pick 5 games, you compete for cash. We're also going to be pulling 21 winners every Friday between 1 and 4. These envelopes are worth $5, $10, $20, $50, even $100 bills. No purchase necessary. You don't have to bet. No bet required. Just come down and visit us on Fridays. Grab your card and play at the DraftKings Sportsbook at TBC Scottsdale. It's Roc's Cash. Yeah, it's my cash. We'll also do a call-in as well. But it should be a lot of fun. And if I win, it's small if, but if I win. I'll just carry over that $100.
Look at you! Wow!
So just keep carrying over. So it could be a couple weeks where it's $300, $400. Just keeps getting up there. So it should be a lot of fun. I teased last segment about Matt Ishbia and what's going on with him and the financial story. We will get into that next, and then Mark May at 3:30. It's Roc and Manuch out here at Wright Toyota here on ESPN Radio 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views. Ball players, legends. One incredible weekend of golf. It's the MLB Retired Players Association Celebrity Classic, September 19th through the 21st at Ocotillo Golf Club in Chandler. Play around paired with an actual MLB player, plus swag, breakfast, and lunch while raising money for retired players, kids with autism through music movement, and ASU baseball scholarships. Foursomes are going fast. Register today at music-movement.org. That's music-movement.org.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, or shop anytime at RightHonda.com. That's RightHonda.com, where Arizona drives. Right Honda.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com. or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof. Football fans, it's time to draft your team and kick off another season. This year, take your fantasy football draft party to Twin Peaks. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs. Round up your league, grab a table, and get ready for the picks, the rivalries, and a full season of bragging rights. Start your fantasy season at Twin Peaks. Book your draft party at your local lodge today.
Forgot something inside or picking up food from the store? Never leave a child in a car. In Arizona, heat stroke can happen in seconds. Temperatures can rise 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, making a vehicle dangerously hot. Heat stroke can happen even in the shade or when it's below 60 degrees outside. Once you park, always remember to stop, look, and lock. Visit heatstroke.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street at Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
All right, Mark May will join us here in about 15 minutes. Some financial pressure surrounding Suns owner Matt Ishbia getting some attention today. Shares of UWM Holdings, which is a mortgage company that he controls, has fallen about 49% after the company suspended its quarterly dividend and entered into a new financial agreement with this company called Oak Tree Capital Management. Now, Ishbia reportedly addressed employees and clients today with what was described as a pep talk, trying to reassure them about the company's stability. And the story has hit the Suns connection. Court findings indicate that the franchise lost money during his first season as a controlling owner, despite being profitable before his purchase. Now, Bloomberg is reporting that the future Suns dividends and distributions and even potential proceeds in the bankruptcy have been pledged as collateral for a JB Morgan loan. So the key point here is there's no indication that the Suns themselves are in any immediate financial trouble. But Ishbia's business finances and the way some of his assets are being used as collateral are now getting much more scrutiny. So this is a stay tuned story.
Wow.
I don't think it's going to affect him per se. If it is, he bought the team for $4 billion. He could sell it tomorrow for $6 billion. Just like the Lakers were bought for $10 million a year ago, and they just sold for $12.5 billion. Not that he's going to do that.
You know, you think about that. You look at all the money he lost. It was like $603.2 million loss. And, you know, I don't understand all these hedge bets, these hedge funds and all that. And he basically was looking at that he was anticipating a real estate investment trust called Two Harbors Investment Corporation, that he put all that money against it. And he was betting that the interest rates would fall, and they didn't. So he lost that $603.2 million derivative loss. And when that $1.3 billion deal collapsed, UMW was left heavily overhedged. So they're saying he lost over $3 billion of personal net worth. So eventually you wonder how those personal business losses, and he's got that the Suns in a separate LLC, I'm sure, but how does that affect overall? And to your point, I don't think that's going to affect the Suns per se, but if all of a sudden his you get a Chapter 11 going, you're reorganizing, and if push came to shove, if all of a sudden Matt Ishbia goes, you know what, it's going to be hard for me to meet payroll or whatever those funds are that he taps into, and they try to tap into the funds separately with their own LLCs. And I think that, if he had to sell it for, $5 billion or put it on the marketplace, or he could sell shares of the Suns to make himself whole with any kind of issues he might have with the Phoenix Suns. But Matt Ishbia has lost a ton of money, and I don't care billionaire or not. You lose $603.2 million, and it affects $3 billion of your own personal money and your assets in the company. That's a huge loss. And so he hedged on a bet that would interest rates would drop. They did. They were raised. And there you go. He's in a financial crisis, but he's in a financial ruin that could eventually affect the Phoenix Suns. These numbers, Rock, are just they blow me away. The kind of money that they're talking about.
Yeah, it's gigantic money. It's huge.
But I think from I imagine that the NBA on Adam Silver and his people are giving a heads up that hey, they're monitoring. They probably called Matt Ishby and say, all right, Matt, what does this mean as far as the team? I'm sure he's assured him, and as you mentioned, the folks of the Suns, his mortgage company, whatever. Hey, folks, this is a little hiccup. We can recover. We can make the money back. There's some things we're going to do. That's a huge hit. When you say 49% of his market share fell because they hedged the wrong way, that's an effect that does affect your bottom line. Personal worth, $3 billion. He's probably worth, who knows what he's worth. He's
a billionaire. Right?
Well, I know, but if he's worth $25 billion or whatever it is, the $3 billion, as long as it doesn't affect the Suns and the Mercury, they'll get something figured out.
Arizona Rattlers
championship game Sunday down in Tucson, indoor football league.
So
haven't heard much.
They played this year.
Yeah, they did. Believe it or not.
And now here they are, going to be down in the Tucson Convention Center for their third IFL championship.
Yeah, I think they're taking on
Green Bay Blizzard.
The Green Bay Blizzard. Yeah, the Blizzard have been around for many years as an indoor football league. When the Rattlers were the arena football league for many, many years. AFL. So yeah, they going to be down there in Tucson.
I feel bad. We used to really talk about them quite a bit. Coach Guy would come on our show every week, and he could win a sixth title.
I could
on Sunday. I mean, that says a lot.
It's a fun indoor game. I mean, folks going down there out to Glendale. They moved their home from WMC, the old arena, out there.
America West.
I think that I think they don't get quite the crowd, but those that are true Rattler fans have been going out there and watching them. One of my quarterbacks, Dalton Sneed, won back-to-back championships with the Arizona Rattlers. They won last year, and it's a fun game. A lot of guys that are hanging on or maybe get one last shot, go play in the indoor league. But, hey, best of luck to the Rattlers coming up here Sunday against the Green Bay Blizzard. What an appropriate name for the Green Bay team.
So Arizona State, their football team, they didn't practice today up at Camp T. Instead, they just did a walkthrough. So tomorrow will be the annual scrimmage. It starts at 9 o'clock. If you haven't been there, it's such a cool place. It's about 17 miles outside of Payson. They used to get around 3,000 people to these scrimmages, and the weather. I mean, it's about 65 degrees up there right now.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. And still know if a big storm hits.
Coach D was on last night promoting it. He said if we can get 3,000 to 4,000 people up here, now they've got they finally have had buses that they're going to bus them up and back. Because as you know, when you go up there, if you don't get there like early in the morning for the scrimmage to find a parking spot or park over at the hotel, that you could park at the hotel. If you know somebody, you can park there. They're real strict about that now. But in this walk down the dirt road to Camp T, they got the nice outdoor field. They got the turf, and they got people all the way around. They've had pretty good crowds out there for the practices for the last couple of days. So a little walk through today, a little scrimmage. We'll try to catch up with Jeff Van Rapphorst next week. Jeff will be up there watching who the quarterback's going to be, a little quarterback competition. Mikey Keene, the young man out of Chandler, who went to Fresno State, then went to Michigan, and now is
at Michigan.
He was at Michigan last year. Yeah, he was there for 1 year, and so he's vying for that starting job. So they will actually scrimmage. Now I don't know if they're going to go full tackle or thud with the limited amount of numbers. They only have 105 players. It'll be ones versus twos versus ones, but just a lot of fun to go up there and watch and see all the Sun Devil faithful up there, hoping for a team to come out of the chute. You mentioned early, they better be ready. Second game of the year, got to go to College Station, take on Texas A&M.
You bring up Michigan and their new head coach, Kyle Whittingham, great guy. He's getting a lot of attention on how he is talking about the Ohio State rivalry. He said that he doesn't need to hate Ohio State to understand how important the game is. I guess some fans have questioned whether he truly understood the rivalry And he clarified that beating the Buckeyes is consistently emphasized within his program now, even though practice in a weight room and all that. But he just doesn't say hate, doesn't use the word hate. And it's driving some people nuts because he doesn't hate them.
You know, the term hate, you could say dislike. I'm not fond of. I understand the rivalry. I get it. Trust me. With him coming in, with Kyle coming in there, he's not going to blow off this rivalry. He knows that's front and center. Just ask John Cooper about that.
Yeah.
Go from ASU. He went from Tulsa to ASU to go back to Ohio State when he took over that Ohio State job. And I don't know if he ever beat Michigan at all his days. He went to a couple Rose Bowls, even though he lost to Michigan.
So Kyle's main message is, would we have a better chance to win if I hated him? So he doesn't believe a personal hatred is necessary.
Did John Harbaugh ever use the term, I hate Ohio State when he was at Michigan?
Doubt it.
I mean, he never did.
Michigan's in trouble, no matter what.
You know,
the whole university's all messed up.
Well, they are, but they got a hell of a coach, and I think.
He's a great coach. That came out of nowhere.
What a great get that was for Michigan.
He can clean it. He can clean the program up.
He sure can.
All right, staying with college football and coaches, the carousel is about to spin again. We're going to catch up with Mark May, talk about some of these coaches that are living on borrowed time, like Bill Belichick. He's on the hot seat already.
You think so,
in North
Rod?
Carolina, yeah.
Wow.
Plus, which rookie NFL quarterback does Mark feel is actually ready to win in September? So we'll catch up with Mark right after this sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The Cardinals picked up their first preseason win last night, beating the Raiders 27-14 as the offense looked to be in mid-season form. The victory did come at a cost, however, as second-round rookie guard Chase Basantis went down with what head coach Mike LaFleur described as a long-term injury, likely ending his rookie season before it ever really started. And in the MLB, the D-backs are in Atlanta tonight for the start of a 3-game weekend set against the Braves. First pitch from Truist Park is set for 4:15, and you can catch all of that action on 98.7 FM. Football season starts at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local lodge. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything that you need for draft day.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard or shop anytime at RightHonda.com. That's RightHonda.com, where Arizona drives Right Honda.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
If gambling is no longer entertaining, you have options to help you take back the game. In Arizona, self-exclusion is a voluntary and confidential program that allows you to exclude yourself from gambling at Arizona casinos, betting at Arizona sportsbooks, or both. Getting started is simple, and support is always available. Head to gaming.az.gov/exclude to learn more about self-exclusion in Arizona. For 24/7 problem gambling support, text Next Step to 53342, sponsored by the Arizona Department of Gaming.
Now to talk everything football is two-time Super Bowl champion, a member of the famed Washington Redskins Hogs offensive line, 1981 first-round pick, earned All-American honors at Pitt, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, football analyst and commentator Mark May, now on ESPN 620.
All right, Mark May joins us to talk everything football. We're going to start with some college with him. As CFP expansion continues to be a story with the Big Ten wanting 24 teams with auto qualifiers. The SEC wants 16. Of course, his old employer, ESPN, who owns the media rights, they want it a certain way. How does Mark May want to see it go down? How does
I just want to follow Craig Fouey, you guys. Coach Fouey wants like 50 teams in. He wants to up and down for 12. Yeah, expand it again. It's like, no. The deal is Fox wants to have more teams because Fox really can't get enough teams in the Big Ten in. And the SEC is controlled by ESPN. We know that. And they're going to get those bids that are in. That's going to be a major argument. And they're going to fight this down to the tooth and nail right down to the end. And I think they're going to end up expanding it, but I just don't know how much and how far. But something's got to be done because they enjoyed what happened this last year. The fans enjoyed the expansion, and I think the networks did too because of the ratings, so they're going to figure it out.
Mark, did you see the other day, Roc, the potential play-in, the last 4 teams, if they were 16? I mean, what's next? I mean, what do you feel is the proper number and the proper way?
I think 12 was great. I think the way that it fanned out with 12, it's great. I know there's always going to be somebody. If you go to 16, guess what? 17 is going to be complaining that they should have gotten in. If you go to 24, 25 is going to be complaining because they didn't get in. It's never going to change. So the bottom line is, I thought it was great because if you continue to expand this, what's going to happen to the regular bowl system? Because right now it's teetering. So basically teams that are left out of going to the playoffs that deserve to go to a decent bowl game, they're not going to go to a bowl game. So that's an experience that most of the players love because most of the players aren't going to the next level of football.
So the other side, Roc and I are talking about, if this thing does get expanded to 24, why play the tough non-conference games?
Like Ohio State, Texas, that wouldn't happen.
Why play them if you're going to have a little more wiggle room versus a 16 playoff team?
They're going to be extinct as a Yugo. And nobody's going to want to be playing tough games anymore. It's going to be, give me the layups, because they're all going to sit there. Because every coach is going to complain to their athletic director, I want the layups. You're not making it easy for me to get to the playoff. That's going to be what's going to happen. Because if I'm a coach, I'd say the same thing. Why play tough non-conference games where that could knock you out of the playoffs? Hey, it's great for the fans. It's great for the TV and the network. Everybody wants to see those big non-conference games. But at the end of the season, if that game costs you getting into the playoff, you'd probably rather play at James Madison or at Northwest Louisiana Tech.
Or Samford State, Alabama, going down that road. So right now it does make, with the 12 teams, it does make a difference. But the more you expand, why do it is what you're trying to say.
Absolutely. And the other thing is championship games, they're also going to be extinct. So we're going through a system right now that almost every year something is changing. And I think sometimes you got to put the brakes on and just say, let's just finish this out for a while and see where it goes, and then let's go from there. Why do you have to do everything every year? It's got to change every year. And it's just, it's getting to a point now where you watch, if it ever goes to 24, I guarantee you within 12 months, there'll be coaches screaming to get it to 30.
So when Greg Sankey talks as the commissioner of the SEC about starting the super conference, you talked to a lot of college people, you talked to a lot of people around the nation, Mark. Is that closer? Is that sooner rather than later when you see this kind of rhetoric coming out on a consistent basis?
I don't think it's closer for super conferences because I think it's going to be difficult. So who's going to draw the line on a super conference? Who's going to be the one person? We don't have a commissioner right now, and they never have had one, and they need to get one. They need to get a Nick Saban or somebody in place that says, wait a minute, this is the way it should be done. Because you're always going to have the haves and have-nots, but it's going to be bigger disparities between teams. Because if you're going to go to super conferences, what are you going to have? 2 super conferences? Maybe 3 or 4 super conferences, and that's it. So I guess you're going to leave out, what are you going to leave out? Baylor, you're going to leave out Florida State, even though they've had a great tradition, but they've been terrible the last 5 or 6 years. How do you draw the line on who gets in and who gets out?
All right, I'm going to throw 4 coaches at you. Who's going to fall first? Fickle at Wisconsin, Norvell at Florida State, Beamer at South Carolina, or Belichick at North Carolina?
Fickle at Wisconsin, because right now he's teetering on the line if they don't get it done this year. And it doesn't look like they've got a good enough squad. The one thing about Wisconsin is I think they have a new athletic department, athletic director that's only been there a year or so, and they're not really supporting their team because Barry Alvarez retired. And the thing is, if you can't support your team and you can't put money into the program, you can't go out and buy players, you can't compete. And the last 2 or 3 years, Wisconsin hasn't been able to compete. But Bill Belichick, it's his deal. It's going to be he's going to leave when he wants to leave. You know, they're probably going to turn it around this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to a bowl this year.
Okay.
So in Norvell, Florida State, the buyout was huge. I think that was one reason. But the kid Castellanos came in last year and kind of, I don't know, saved him by the bell, did he not, down there at Florida State?
Definitely did. But I was at an event at a golf tournament in Orlando, and I was talking to one of the people that were on the board of directors at Florida State, and I asked him, I said, you know, is Mike on the hot seat? Is Norvell on the hot seat? He was like, no, we can't fire him. And I said, why not? He says, because it's too expensive to get rid of him.
Jeez. Hey, you think Mark May joining us here on Roc and Manuch, do you feel that this transfer portal will finally stabilize, or you think it's just going to continue to get crazier?
It's going to continue to get crazier. It's when you go out there and look, every time if a coach leaves one program and goes to the next program, look at all the players that come along with him. But seriously, if you look at Matt Campbell at Penn State, he had what? 24 players leave Iowa State and go there.
Yes.
Quarterback Rocco Beck. Mm-hmm. So when coaches leave, they're taking their players. So you've got to have the transfer portal. That's the only way other teams can continue to compete because they're not really bringing a lot of kids out of high school and developing them. You know, they're buying them and bringing them in, but a lot of these kids are sitting. And the issue, there are some teams out there, a lot of big-name teams, because I talked to some of their coordinators in the offseason, they're right now, even though they're one of the top dogs and preseason favorites, they have no depth because they had to play their starters so much money.
So the Save College Sports Act, Mark, you're down with a lot of these politicians back in D.C. Why did they put it off? Is there until September? They recessed. I thought everything was pretty much negotiated, that the House and then the Senate would vote off, and then Trump would sign off on it. What seems to be the hesitation, or seems to be negotiated for them not to sign off on this?
You tell me what you can get an agreement in Congress.
That's true.
Or the Senate where you can get something across the finish line. You know, I sit there and look at these clowns. It's like, why do we continue to put the same people in office that do the same things? They just continue to want to stay in office. They don't get anything done. And it's just a crying shame. It's like this was an easy thing to do. It was a simple thing for them to get together. You know, Tommy Tuberville and all those other people, they were right on board with it. They said, let's get this thing done. The president was there. Let's get this done. They got it right out in front of them. They didn't get it signed and get it done. It's like you sit back and say, what do you guys do? Just go to cocktail parties all the time?
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to get on Manuch's bus? He's driving the Cardinals fan bus now.
I'm with you right now. They're the only 2-0 team in the National Football League. Hold your head high.
No. They lost. They lost last week.
They
lost last week. Don't give them more credit.
That's right. They're 1-1, but they scored 57 points in 2 games. They should have won the game last week. But they won the other night. But I'm looking at the Cardinals, and I'm like, you know, everybody's on this bandwagon on the Cardinals. And I'm like, you know, the only good thing that I saw at the Cardinals is the running back Jeremiah Love. And here's what you should do. The first preseason game he's in there, he had 14 touches. You know what you do with him? You wrap him in bubble wrap until September. Because that kid only goes one speed, and that's full speed. So he's either going to get hurt or he's going to get a touchdown. That kid's magnificent. I like seeing the way that he runs, but the way that he runs is conducive to the National Football League for longevity. So what you've got to do with him, keep him out of the preseason until the regular season. He's done for the rest of the you don't need to see any more.
So, Mark, with Basantis going down, he grabbed the back of his knee. That could be a PCL where that's located. To come back as an offensive lineman, whether it's ACL, MCL, or PCL, it could take a year. How difficult is that once you're back move the feet and back and push and all the above.
It's tough. It took me over a year because I did my MCL and my LCL, and it took me a year and 2 months to get back to 100%. Because the first thing that happened is once I got back, I started feeling good in the rehab, and I started lifting, got my muscle definition back, and I started feeling strong. Then as soon as I started jogging, everything was straight line. As soon as I started zigzagging and cutting, scar tissue started breaking off and popping, and there was some swelling, and they had to go back in and clean it out again and scope it. So back then they couldn't scope injuries like that because anything that was a major injury, like an ACL or an LCL or PCL, they had to go in and they've got to slice you. Because if you're over like 225 pounds back in the day, they didn't want to use a scope because they weren't that convinced that a scope would hold up with bigger and heavier people. So they had to go in and slice you and give you that 8-inch scar in your knee.
You talked about this Basantis kid when after the draft coming out of A&M. Did you feel he had a legitimate shot to start over Adams? You felt that way?
Yeah, I thought he was a great run blocker. And if you draft a running back third in the draft and you got a guy that's smaller at the line of scrimmage, take him and use him. He just had improving his pass protection. I thought he was doing a decent job getting to the second level. But here's the guy again. I don't know what it is with the Cardinals. They continue to get injuries of players, particularly in the trenches, every single year in every single camp.
All right, one story out there. It's called the Tom Brady rule. And it broke today that there's, the Tom Brady rule is that broadcast restriction was created for him because he's part owner of the Raiders. Now it applies to Troy Aikman, who's involved with the Dolphins GM and I guess some coach hires in the off season. What's your thoughts on these players or former players that are broadcasters that also are part owners? Think it's a conflict?
Yeah, it is a conflict because when I was at CBS, when I was doing the NFL games, you would go in and talk to the coordinators and sit down with them face to face, talk to the players. You had access to practices where other parts of the media couldn't go out when you could go out. But if you were doing the national game, you had open access. So if you're an owner of a different team or if you've got investment in a different team, what if they're playing each other that week or the following week? I know they're trying to not schedule him with the Raiders, but they're trying to schedule him different games. But if the Raiders start off and get hot, and Fox has a game that's a 4 o'clock window and they want to put him there, are they going to have the number one team do that? That's going to be where the conflict of interest comes up and people are going to complain because the access that he's going to have to whoever they're playing isn't fair.
Jeez.
Well, it's insider information too, right, Mark? I mean,
Absolutely.
You might have that. You can pull them off so that nothing slips up. You get preseason. I mean, you're on a very successful Redskins team with Joe Gibbs. What was the mantra that you guys had in preseason that made you so successful that we're not seeing in preseason games today is a direct cause for unsuccess with a lot of these teams nowadays?
To try to lose every preseason game as possible, because the years that we lost every preseason, we were 1-13 of 3 years we went to the Super Bowl in the preseason.
No
Think
kidding.
about that. And the years that we had successful years, like we were 3-1 or 4-0 in the preseason, we were terrible. It was one of those things where we were all looking around each other. We finally figured it out. It's like, we really don't want to win these preseason games. If you want to put us in there and play, get us in and get us out.
Jeez.
So was that Gibbs' philosophy with you guys? Is just play everybody or don't play you guys as much? Because that was a unique philosophy back in the days, not to play at least a quarter, then a half, and then 3 quarters.
No, in the third game, it was you basically play 2 and 2, the first 2 quarters and the first 2 series, and then you were done. And in the fourth game, you might play a series, but usually you won't. And if you were nicked up at all or had any type of injury, you're out. You weren't going to play at all. Even a minor injury, they didn't want that to get worse, so they basically yanked you out. And the coach was a head coach hero when I came at the end of my career. And his philosophy was, we're going to win every game. We win everything. Guys, we go out there, it's going to make us win during the regular season because we're going to have a winning attitude because we want to win everything. As soon as we went undefeated in the preseason, we started off 0-5 our first season. It was like, maybe that's a mistake.
I'm so glad you guys just didn't go down that road. Oh, well, when I used to play, we had 3 days. And all that other BS.
Just 2 days for 6 straight weeks. That's all we had, full pads.
But remember, we had 3 days on Wednesdays because Wednesdays we'd come in and we'd have special teams in the morning, practice in the afternoon, scrimmage in the evening.
There you go. Yeah, real football. Yeah, real football.
That doesn't include the lifting that we had to do also every other day.
Oh, by the way.
Remember, our training camps were like 6 weeks in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I spent a year of my life in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Think about that. A year of my life in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Lucky you.
So let me ask you, Mark. So in 1989, I was an intern for the Indianapolis Colts. So I was at their training camp in Anderson, Indiana. And all I remember was I would check in the guys at, I was doing PR, and I would check in the guys for food or meals, right? And there was always like buckets of amino acids. And they would just come in and grab them. And what was with the amino acids? I can't remember why.
I can't tell you this on the air, but when I first got into the league in the training room, there were buckets of something else in the training room my first 2 years in the NFL that I had never seen before in my life. And it was like, first time I asked this, what's that stuff over there? Because all the older guys were coming in and grabbing them.
Yeah.
And one of the trainers said, you probably don't want to start those things. Are not good for you. So
yeah,
I didn't touch any of those things.
We had a guy named, you remember Conrad Dobler? Connie was with us. Connie would just say, hey, you need any help? Come see me in my locker. Yeah.
And it didn't matter back then because that was before league testing. It was like, guys were like doing that. And I'm like, so this is the NFL, huh? We didn't do this stuff in college. How did they be able to get across the line in the NFL? This has been major league, I guess.
And
my third year in the league, they finally cut down on that.
And last but not least, if you had any kind of tendonitis, aches, or pains, they gave you this thing. This is going back to 1979 and 80, called butazolidine. And the trainers said, well, don't tell anybody you're taking this because it's only approved for horses. And so we were using it.
How about the guys that were taking the DMSO or whatever that's called? You could smell them a block away. It was like,
this is why all you guys are getting like we just hear about Plank and all the surgeries he's had. You've had them. John Missler was in here the other day. He's had like 20 of them. It's all that stuff you guys were taking, man. It wasn't the game itself. It was all those drugs.
The games weren't bad. It was the practices that were the worst thing about it.
Yes.
We were hitting full pads, full goal every Wednesday and every Thursday.
Sure.
Fridays it was shoulder pads and shorts, but it was full goal team practice. And Friday you just couldn't cut or tackle. And like now they go out and like
thud.
Two-step. We used to call P&P on Fridays, push and pull. They do it every day.
That's awesome. Mark, have a great weekend. Thanks for your time today.
Hey, next week the guys go with the Cardinals. They're going to win next week. I guarantee.
Yeah, take the over. Take the over. Yeah, that's good stuff. Mark May joining us. You can follow him on social, just Mark_May, the Super Bowl champion. Appreciate him taking some time with us today. He's presented today by All City Towing. That's Arizona's largest towing company. Whether you're stranded or need a professional transport, All City has the experience to get the job done right. 24/7, 365 days a year. They're hiring drivers, dispatchers, all types of different positions. So if you're looking to join a winning team, allcitytowing.com. All right, coming up, Michael Bankston on the Cards defense and the overall performance from last night for our one call. That's all. That's all coming up as we continue on from Wright Toyota.
Make Azul Bar and Grill your new favorite hangout. Sing along with live karaoke, play bingo, catch the best local bands, or challenge your friends in the game room. Add great food, a fun atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels welcome. And you've got good times waiting at Azul, located at 3134 West Carefree Highway in Tremonto Plaza. See daily events and specials at azulgrill.com.
Lace up for a great cause. Join the 33rd Annual Frank Cush Youth Foundation Running for the Broads on Saturday, October 10th at Tempe Beach Park during the Four Peaks Oktoberfest. Every step helps support youth athletics, including girls flag football, Lady Hawk softball, the Frank Cush Scholarship at ASU, Tempe Sister Cities, and kids throughout our community. Register, donate, or volunteer today at Oktoberfest.run. That's Oktoberfest.run. Run, give back, make a difference.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
Hey, it's Jimmy B. Football season is here, and there's never been a better time to grow your business. Partner right now with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. with live endorsements, show sponsorships, featured segments, remote broadcasts, and so much more. YouTube, social media, and commercials, all built around your goals and your budget. Visit rocandmanuch.com and click advertise. Let's grow your business together.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Fight Night is back, and the only place to catch every punch, kick, and knockout is Twin Peaks. Settle in with scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree drafts that hit colder than a heavyweight takedown. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you won't miss a moment. Grab your crew and make it a fight night to remember. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Interesting. I did think about that because I said, okay, we won this game, but I mean, Kirk Cousins ain't play that much, and then Mendoza didn't play that much. So yes, I understand that they had their full Monty in there. Then it'll be probably a different story, different scenario, and that's the thing we have to work on. We got to be able to play at that level of the best players that are coming out there, which would be the first teams play. Every team we're getting ready to play moving forward. We just got to be up there and be able to step up our game and play accordingly, no matter who's on the field. If they get that understanding, no matter who's on the field, I'm going to be dominant. Then that's how you get the Tom Brady's with the Patriots and that era, and the Cowboys in their area, and the Steelers in their area. They don't care. They didn't care who was on the field. They just knew they was going to kick some butt.
That's Michael Bankston earlier on the program in the first hour. If you missed it, you go to the Arizona Sports app. Just download the app, and you can hear that entire interview with Michael Bankston. So appreciate that. Our Lerner and Rowe, a one call, that's all. If you've been injured in an accident, don't try to handle it alone. Lerner Rowe has been voted Arizona's best personal injury law firm year after year. So if you've been in a wreck and you need a check, make one call. That's all. At 602-977-1900 or at lernerrowe.com. All right, D-backs pregame is underway over at 98.7. 4:15 first pitch in Atlanta. They'll play again tomorrow, same time, first pitch at 4:15. And then Sunday, it's the early 10 o'clock game, 10:35, D-backs Braves on 98.7. We'll have some ESPN baseball on Sunday here on ESPN 620 at 3:30. The Mariners and the Astros. So that's what's on tap, brought to you by Bud Light, the official partner of Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, and all 5 Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge.
So we got Fott and Sale going at it tonight. Maybe we see something like last Saturday with the Dodgers, Yamamoto and Fott. What a great pitcher's duel that was.
It was. The outcome didn't come out right.
No, it didn't.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's
what was that 2-1, 2-0?
2-1. Yeah, and they left 15 runners on base. They were 2 for 16, that being the Diamondbacks, with runners in scoring position. I mean, give him credit. I mean, Brandon Fott, 7 starts. He could easily be 7-0, Rock, since he came back. He's 5-0. He had 2 no decisions coming in there. So this should be a good, well-pitched game. He's been throwing really well. Just a matter of, again, it's going to probably be that Achilles heel for the Diamondbacks. If they get runners in scoring position, they've got to really figure out a way to score. I think more hit and run, more moving guys over with bunts, be more selective. Torrey Lavelle talked about that. Said, look, we got to be more selective with runners in scoring position. We've got to be smart at the play. at the plate. And they were there for a while, about a 2 or 3 week span. They're one of the best in all of Major League Baseball as far as runners in scoring position. Then they get in this funk. But I really think the correlation is the bottom half of the order when you got your top half getting in scoring position. And thank God that Gabby Moreno is still hot, literally the leading hitter on this team, hitting 305 now. That's pretty much got them into games and kept them in games and moving them forward. So you get those runners on, especially a team like Atlanta and then Boston, you better take advantage of it.
So Arizona currently is third worst in Major League Baseball at straining runners in scoring position. But if you look at the teams that are ahead of them, that are the worst, they're pretty good teams. The Cubs, 4.16 runners left in scoring position per game. Brewers, 4.08. Diamondbacks, 3.78.
But the Cubs are scoring a lot more runs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're way out in front. They may strand a lot of runners. I mean, the Padres are one of the worst too. All of a sudden, the Padres have won 7 out of 10, though in the last 5. So that whole Cubs thing is they put so many runners on, especially during the year. And now their run differential is like, I want to say last time I looked, it was like 144 as far as run differential was concerned when you looked at these guys as far as a wild card. So you kind of go, okay, let's take a look at their run differential, how many runs they score. They're 111 in run differential, so they can afford to leave runners in scoring position. You look at the Padres, they're just +1. The Phillies are -1, and then the Diamondbacks are +11 in run differential. That's good because they had a couple high-scoring games. The 9-zip game they had the other day.
Colorado, yeah.
So that's a little deceiving, but the Diamondbacks have nothing to show for it. You leave 15 runners on Wednesday's game in that 6-4 loss. And then 5 days earlier, you left another 15 on against the Dodgers. So it's an issue that they're going to have to get corrected if they want to make the wild card at the third wild card spot.
Just get in.
Just get in.
Just get in like they did and end up getting the World Series with the Rangers. I mean, geez, just get in.
And you need a little help.
Yeah.
I remember that year. And then last year, after trading away everybody, they had a chance to get in. It came to the last day where the Mets had to win a doubleheader. Well, they got beaten the first game. So I forget who was the one that ended up going. Might have been Cincinnati. They ended up going to the getting the third wild card spot. And the Diamondbacks were on the outside looking in.
Like we've said 2 months ago, it's going to come down to the last series.
I love it.
San Diego. Everybody's saying that. I mean,
well, in the series before, it's the Rockies. So you would think you get some help there.
Well, you thought that this past week.
You sure did.
Lost the series 2-1.
But think about that. You got the Rockies and then you got San Diego. So, hey, for Major League Baseball, what salary cap? What are you talking about? We got plenty of parity that's going on right now, Major League Baseball.
All right, Michael Bankston, appreciate him joining us today. We also want to thank Scott Spreitzer. He did a great job handicapping these games.
Sure did.
This weekend. Some interesting angles. You can listen to that on the Arizona Sports app. And then, of course, Mark May. So we appreciate the guys joining us today. We'll do it again on Monday at 1 o'clock, and we'll be back here at Wright Toyota. Again, football season, the real stuff is coming up. Mondays will be at Bigs. Thursdays at a different Twin Peaks. DraftKings on Friday. So we got a great schedule ahead.
Can't wait.
The live remotes. Everything's up on our website at rockmanuch.com. Of course, Fan Pickup will be back for like its 20th year. So we've been doing that quite some time. So for Laz, great job this week. For Manuch, I'm Rock. Have a great weekend. Be safe.
This is a special alert to all Americans